the shatter. Let the bodies hit the floor. Uprising Academy at 95%.
Right now with Hydra building up to this Bear Barrage so quickly.
Oh!
And asking!
Double kill in the back with the pulse bomb from the high ground. Aerial assault with that line.
Impact se escucha de abajo gritar campeón a Sky Foxes.
Holy cow.
And after 42 consecutive losses, the Shanghai Dragons get their first win.
8 teams enter this weekend.
Oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing?
We've got a clip with minimal information. It's time to break it down. Speed, 25%. Go. Figure out what this man's SR is.
Keep fighting till it's for sure lost. Winnable!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another day of Contenders Trials here at ELO Hell. We've got more North American action coming at you, and it gets real interesting today. We've got some tiebreakers coming up. 4-way tie for first. A ridiculous group going on right now, and the match just started all off. Uprising Academy versus Karasuno. My name is Dor, and I'm joined by the always wonderful Jag. Jag, welcome to the broadcast. How you doing?
I am doing great, Dor. Thank you for a wonderful introduction. And like you said right now, a 4-way tie for first. Map differential is really the only thing that's separating these teams right now, but 2 of those teams right now are going to be competing up first on stream. Karasuno and Uprising Academy, as you see, neck and neck in that 2nd and 3rd seed. So this matchup today is going to be so important going into Contenders proper, because whoever drops this series might not have that advantage to get into one of those 2 spots.
Yeah, I mean, the way I've always looked at Contenders trial standings is 3 losses, that's it, you're done. One loss, you're probably sitting fine, odds are you're going to make it. 2 losses, you're requiring someone else to mess up somewhere along the way, and neither of these teams want to be in that position. So one of them is going to have to take an L and have to try and fight for something tomorrow. I promise you neither of them want to do it, but both of these rosters look incredible for doing that. I mean, Uprising Academy are stacked out their minds. Karasuno look great. You want to take me through?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Uprising Academy, they have been struggling to get into Contenders proper for a while now. I think since Season 2 started here in North America, have gotten so close, got really close in the last trials, but did not make it. Now they swap things up a little bit. They've brought Mikey down from the main team. They've added Pizza Demon, who is a veteran. So I think those 2 have made a big difference so far. And then on the side of Karasuno, you know, a lot of new names. They lost a lot of the pieces they had from last month, but they've been doing so well so far. And I think this is really going to come down to a DPS battle between the 2 teams. Can N2S take out Tap and Wayfast? Can Valen back him up? Let's find out.
Yeah, overall, I feel like this entire Contenders Trials, this entire Group A, has been really denoted by on and off teams, right? The only way you get matches that end up 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, a 4-way tie for first, right? People are beating everybody. It's so dead even. So a lot of it really does come down to who's there on the day. And if you guys think that you can make it up the Contenders Trials, there's a big announcement we've got at ELO Hell. Tournament of Champions is coming on up in just a little bit. If you want your shot at making it big in the path to pro, Jag, why don't you tell them a little bit about it?
Yeah, the Trials of Champions coming up in late October, the first third-party event officially in the Path to Pro system. Not only is there $3,000 on the line for the top 3, there are going to be 2 spots on the line for Contenders Trials. So if you think you got what it takes, you're on a tier 3 team, get on it, sign up today. It's going to start October 14th, and we're so excited for that. But I'm so excited for this matchup that we're going to have coming up in a little bit.
Yeah, forget Contenders Trial spots. This is for the big boys. This is for going for that number 1 and number 2. Now, looking at the teams that these guys have played in the past, right? Karasuno have had, I would say, a pretty difficult run, to say the least. And Uprising Academy, we were talking about this earlier, they've played a couple more of the questionable teams along the way. Do you think that, given that their bracket only gets harder the further they go on here, do you think that bodes well for them, or do you think they should have started off with some of the harder teams?
Well, unfortunately, they can't choose who they play, but you bring up a great point because Uprising Academy, they've been playing teams that are at the bottom right now. They played a team that we're going to see later on today. That's right now has not won a match, 0-3. So, that's not exactly a great resume builder. They played the other team that's at the bottom, Lunaris, who's only won one matchup so far. So, they could be ramping up. You never know how high you can play up to your opponent, playing up to your opponent's skill level or playing down. But like you said, Karasuno has definitely had a path to get here, a much harder one. And, they've beaten a team like 200 MS, and they also beat Delta Phoenix, the team I was referring to earlier. They did lose to Odyssey, which I think we both agree is probably the top team right now in this trials group. But, it's anyone's game right now. I think Uprising Academy can come out swinging. They can definitely take this series.
Yeah, it's real tricky. The transitive property of esports, team A beats team B, team B beats team C, team A beats team C, doesn't really apply to this group anymore. Things are about to get real scrappy, and nowhere do they get scrappier than on Control. Ladies and gentlemen, we're starting off on Lijiang to open the day.
Yeah, and absolutely. We're going to be starting on Lijiang Gardens. So, this is a great dive map. It always has been. In the past, we've seen the pharmacy, but I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of that today. The meta has been mostly established, and we're seeing basically what we expected. We're going to be seeing Sombra, we're going to be seeing those dive tanks in the Winston and Diva, but we might be seeing a little bit of difference. I don't think Tracer is going to be staying on this Zen, but I do think we're going to see Valens stay on that Tracer.
Yeah, the odds aren't exactly high for Zenyatta. The Tracer's been played plenty. I don't know how much Chinese contenders you watch, but it runs rampant over there. It is absolutely no surprise to see it locked in. It's a powerful pick if the person playing it shows up. So way faster value is going to be a lot more straightforward. For Valen, he's really got to work for it, but if he can, he'll be coming out on top. One thing to watch for in this first fight is how Uprising Academy take it. They don't like to do a lot of damage. They really like getting up the first Coalescence, but right now it's about dead even between both teams. Big hack onto Wayfast, who now has to back away, but Drake even more so. Without the Moira heals, you have to be extremely careful. Karasuno now are going to be to take the re-engagement onto the point. It's even about 20% ahead to the Coalescence, so if that comes into play, it's going to be Karasuno with the lead.
Yeah, and right now, it's just a lot of poke, no one falling just yet. But Pizza Demon now has the Cole online, and there is the engage with it.
He's got the big one, the first one. How much value can he actually get? It's tons, so much damage onto the tank, but EMP already from N2S. How fast did he build that up? It's going to be so much value for Uprising Academy, enough to maybe even win this fight. They've got to follow up. Valen's in on the back line with Drake's Coalescence, though. They're almost certain to finish this one off.
Yeah, and they are going to wrap this one up with a bow. You did see Uprising Academy was able to take the point, so they will get about 12% and counting. But a lot of ults committed there by Karasuno. They used the Pulse Bomb. They also used the EMP at the start of that fight, and they used the Cole. Cole, you get it back pretty quick, and N2S and Valen already at half for their ult. So even though they used a lot to win it, they're getting it back pretty quickly. So I don't think too much was committed in that fight.
No, Karasuno don't have any real advantage going into this one. I mean, maybe the Primal Rage is enough to find them a kill. The EMP's going to be online a little bit early, but they have to reach those ultras. They have to find value with them. Both Rise already out of the fight. That's huge. There's no main take now for Uprising Academy. There's no spear head to the spear. There's no real bite to the bark. There's nothing to go with all of the sauce they're putting on their pizza. And with that, there's no kills in the kill feed either.
Uprising Academy now going to flip that point, and look at this ult bank they've built up. All they committed was the primal range of that. They've already used Pizza Demon's Cole, but they have it back so quickly. The question is, can they hit the EMP? N2S is so close to their own. Tap really has to hit a big one. They've got to get that Lucio out of the fight because they have the beat when that EMP comes out, and if they're not hacked, they're going to use it and keep their whole team alive.
Yeah, to me, I need to see the EMP connect onto the Lucio as well as onto the opposing Sombra. Other than that, you can either hide your Lucio or hide the Sombra for a counter EMP or a counter Soundbarrier. There's a lot of play to go on here. Oh my god, but he caught all 6 with it! Valen's in for easy follow-up in Uprising Academy. This is just a walk in the park for them.
Yeah, you saw Valen swap onto the Reaper, and so far it is working out. That Tracer was not enough with the flank. Now they can just run and head on. We're able to get the point back pretty quickly. Only one fight later, and N2S just a little bit quicker on the draw there. You know, Tabba's had this EMP for a little while now, has not been able to use it. I think they were caught out a little bit at the beginning of that fight, weren't able to get back into position, and just like that, we're going to see Karasuno take the point once again, and are going to even up their control.
Karasuno will try their damnedest, but it's all about getting your players actually over there. Lots of damage so far. False finds a big one onto Valen, and Uprising now can start their push in. How much value is there to get, though, is the big question. It's Pizza Demon with a Coalescence to engage. Karasuno forced back. Death Blossom in the backline as well from Uprising Academy. Getting insult onto injury. They've got plenty more ultimates in the bank. This fight could go so long.
Yeah, and they still have not used the EMP. Their bomb is going to come out now. You're going to see the beat as well. Wayfast's going to take out Jungbin, and that might be what they need to take this point. Yeah, there is the flip coming in.
Uprising Academy will even things up, and now that percentage ticking, we're getting into dangerous territory for Karasuno.
Yeah, I mean, they do have a little bit more percentage right now on the point, but that's going to be swapped really shortly, and Tap still has that EMP. They have not committed it yet. We're seeing that Lep still has that Lucio ult, so they can still counter it with the beat. They have another one of their own EMP, so in the time that it's False has used one, but there it is coming out from Tap finally.
Finally, the EMP is used. It wins them a fight in one ultimate. That's what you need it to do. But you wish it just came a little bit earlier. They're getting into final fight territory, though, Jag.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, now it's to get to 90%. So right now, Karasuno, they've got to touch the point. That's their first priority. They have the Reaper ult. They have the EMP. They still have their beat. So they do have ult Zorik with Mikey, the only one right now has an ult. Just as I say that, Pizza Demon has his as well.
Oh, it could be a big primal. He nearly knocks somebody off. In fact, no! Light Skin Man's down the drain. Along with that, notably, goes the sound barrier and a lot of the chances that Karasuno had to try and win this re-engage. Uprising holding strong on top of the point right now. Wayfast nearly to another Death Blossom. That's going to seal it out for sure, Jag.
Absolutely. Right now, it's just clean up. The beat's going to come out a little bit late, but now there is only the Lucio on point. The Sombra going to be looking for anything, isn't going to find it, and now Wayfast has that Death Blossom, is going to use it, and that's going to be round one, going to Uprising Academy.
Really clean play from them, right? I'm not exactly sure how much I like Tap holding the EMP for so long, but even when they were playing without the EMP, they looked fantastic. When they won fights, they won them fast. When they lost fights, they lost them fast. They were playing at pace, and Karasuno couldn't keep up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think N2S might have gotten like 3 ults in the same time that it took Tap to get the 1 EMP, but at the end of the day, it's not about how many you have, it's about how well you use them, and in the end, Taps was enough to seal the deal. Now we're going to Control Center. We're going to see some Brawl come out, that Ryan Zarya come out.
Yeah, it's no surprise, especially with the Junkrat becoming extremely prominent here. People, bouncing between the Zarya and the D.Va, but they've landed here. There's about to be a lot of damage dished out by these teams.
Absolutely. That Junkrat does so much spam in such a short area. I'm assuming both these teams are going to be looking for that White Room contest, and there it is. The Sim can also have a laser beam if she can charge it up.
It's already charged. N2S almost all the way up, but False finds the first pick onto Rise, and the first main tank down. I mean, it's almost like watching Goats all over again. Just so much more space to work with for Uprising Academy. They'll clean up that fight nice and easy and send them on to a first tick.
Absolutely. We're going to see Chungben falling at the end is going to be taken out, and that is going to be the first cap going for Uprising Academy. They haven't capped it just yet, it looks like. There it is. So actually, that might be a big misplay. They didn't play the objective. It looks like they had 1 or 2 people there, but now we're going to see that Karasuno has plenty of time to get back into this, and only 3% on the point.
Yeah, it's almost like redoing a first fight where the opposing team just kind of, took it in the neutral, so it's not so bad. Karasuno, but still not an advantageous position, as Uprising Academy are distinctly ahead in the ultimate charge because of all the kills and all the damage that they got. Rise already at half HP. It's going to be an engagement from the Coalescence. Pizza Demon yet again the first Moira to get it up, and Rise has taken the brunt of all the damage that Uprising have done. Oh my god! Valen! He's clutched out 3-man tire. That's got to be enough.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be enough. Right now, it is just clean up Pizza Demon, just stalling out for a little bit more percentage on the point. And that tire from Valen, oh my goodness, that was perfectly played. It's very interesting. Drake now on the map, so they have the immortality that's going to save them potentially from Tap's tire. Question is, can they force out the lamp ahead of time? They are going to have the Symmetra ult, so they will be able to split the point with that gigantic shield, but will it be enough? Drake does have his ult online as well.
Keep in mind, the Matrix Fire Strike can be really deadly down these sight lines. Luckily, though, for Uprising, it's done. It's out of the way. They have to rely on the Graviton Surge, though. They managed to catch 1 out of it. It's Rise, gone and done and dusted. Light Skin Man forced to use the Sound Barrier, but it's too late. There's no main tank in the way, and now Uprising are back in the same position they were first fight, this time with the help of a tire from Tap.
Yeah, that was an ult apocalypse. So many coming out, and in the end, I think the grab from False was the biggest one. I mean, they had the Symmetra ult from Wayfast that kind of split that point. They were kind of stuck on that high ground in White Room, but that grab just zoned them out completely. Now, Youngbin has a grab of his own. They have a lot of ults for Valen and N2S not too far behind as well. They can just ult them, but can they get the beat online on the side of Uprising Academy?
Yeah, the key here is the support ultimate timing from Uprising Academy. They forced to layer them because of the Graviton Surge, but it's a tire out from Valen. Can he do it again? No. Only catches tap. The kills are being traded dead even. The fight's breaking down on point, though. Luckily for Uprising, they're held strong by Mikey and their front line doing a good job keeping the shield up, keeping all of their health bars appropriately alive until Drake just puts in just enough damage. Zarya dropped low, but it's 2 versus 2 on point. Wrecking Ball swap from Karasuno is going to get him there faster, though, and that speed might just be the edge they need to win the fight.
Yeah, Drake gonna use his ult now, so they have a lot of healing and a lot more damage into us on the point, just trying to clean up. That is gonna be the flip. Uprising Academy, though, they are right there. They might go for the fast re-engage, but it looks like they might just wait for the full regroup.
Keep in mind, Rise is still on the Wrecking Ball, so the front line is really lacking here for Karasuno. Uprising are coming in with a lot of tools to win this fight. Meanwhile, ultimate-wise, it's really only going to be the sound barrier out of Light Skin Man, and even then, that's hopeful. You're assuming he's going to live for 20% of his ultimate charge. We'll see if he can, though, as Rise is up and in the backline, starting off immediately with a huge Graviton Surge, are the Uprising Academy coming up large, easily following up with the Coalescence from Pizza Demon. They'll take the point right back over, and that might just be it. It's going to take a desperation attempt from Karasuno.
Yeah, right now, there's only a few left alive for Karasuno. They're just waiting. They have a little bit of time. It's going to be the Bap who needs to touch, I believe. Will they even get there? There is the Lucio who's going to touch at the last second.
He's got time. This is so difficult for Uprising. They're on the verge of getting the sound barrier online, but they've already lost 2 Jag. It's not looking great for him. Now tire from top. He's going to look to seal it out. No, taken down by Valen, even with the tire down. There's a chance here for Karasuno. There's a solid shot, but it's all between Rise, Valen, and Light Skin Man. They've got 1 for each. Roll the Shatter, shuts it down immediately. Falls following up. Uprising Academy will take the first map 2-0.
A very decisive performance, especially on Control Center. It looked a little bit closer on Gardens, it kind of went down to the wire, but just in that Rhine v Rhine, Mikey just playing so aggro with his DPS, and it worked out wonders for them. Uprising Academy, as you said, going up 1-0, and we were debating, they have played, maybe lower skilled opponents so far in this Trials group, but right now they're going toe-to-toe with Karasuno, and they're winning.
Yeah, Uprising, look, quite frankly, incredible. I've cast Uprising Academy a lot over the past few trial seasons, and I have never seen them actually dominate a game in that regard. And I think you are absolutely correct, pointing the finger at Mikey for a lot of that. When your team, when your DPS, when your supports have space, the wonders they can do are quite frankly ridiculous. And backing up Mikey, Pizza Demon, we also mentioned them, relatively new pickup, is getting so much ultimate charge just off of Mikey playing so aggressively that it feels like there's 2 coalescences for 1 every time Karasuno get 1.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, they're playing so patiently and they really know how to use it to engage. We saw it a little bit more on Control Center. Use a bit defensively to keep them alive when they were, using the grab just to make sure that Mikey didn't fall. But, Mikey's known mostly for his Hammond play, but he's been doing really well on both the Winston and the Rhine. I think you really can't put him aside at all. He's been doing wonders. But the question is, can Karasuno get back into the series on our second map today, which is going to be Junkertown?
Yeah, I actually think Junkertown throws a real spanner into the works for Uprising, right? They've looked extremely organizing. Their ultimate rotations are damn near perfect. Their positioning looks incredible. Their team plays great. Don't get me wrong, Karasuno is still a very formidable team and can bring this one back. And I think Junkertown's a great map to do that because all of a sudden, there's not as much pressure on the tanks. We're looking at the DPS battle. What can these guys do when the Widowmaker goes into play?
Absolutely. I mean, I would be shocked if we didn't see a Widow at some stage. The sight lines for her are amazing. And at that point, it's just click heads. That's all you got to do. You got to make sure that your Widow isn't being pressured out or that she can, get out of there if needed. The question is, do you switch up your support lineup at all to help that Widow? Do you go for a Mercy Pocket? Do you go for the Zen for more long-range healing? We see it come out sometimes. You get that Zen Mercy combo, but, in general, we've seen the Lucio Moira, which we saw all throughout Lijiang.
Yeah, personally for Junkertown, I'm expecting probably one of the teams to be running a Roadhog Sigma at least, and then you can lock in the Zen Mercy with the Widowmaker, maybe even a Hanzo mixed in there. It can get really dirty. It's a team composition that relies on picks, and I think for Karasuno, that's a great thing to rely on. They have a really strong individual roster with a lot of players that can pop off, and that composition offers up so many tools to do that. We'll find out what they lock in here in a couple of seconds, but let's see, Jag, do you have any compositions that you think are a little bit more out of the box that you're expecting to see?
I don't expect to see it, but Pirate Ship used to be really popular here. It was called Bunkertown for a reason when Double Shield is a little bit more prominent. Orisa did get buffed, but we're not going to see that. It looks like we are going to see that Sigma Roadhog come out. We're going to see Mikey on the ball, possibly. They are on the offense, so they can swap off of this, but I would not be surprised at all if this is what they come out with on the side of Uprising Academy.
I mean, Mikey's ball is nuts. False is Sigma. Very, very strong. Again, all the onus, though, still on the DPS, right? Mikey's going to be hurting Valen a lot, so it will help out Wayfast a little bit in the big sniper duel, but at the end of the day, the Widow that hits their shots is going to be the winner.
I mean, this is just, you know, 2 1v1s, basically. Tap versus N2S on the Tracer, Wayfast versus Valen on the Widowmaker. Who will reign dominant? The tank battle will still be there, but definitely not as prominent for this matchup. And here we go. Right now, Uprising Academy on their first attack.
Eyeball Wayfast. There's bound to be a grapple shot snuck in here. Valen knows. Valen can smell it on him for the shot around the side. You could tell just how paranoid they are, expecting this first shot to come through. It's a big game of chicken more than anything else, right? You know, you peek. No, you peek. But in the meantime, Uprising Academy are just gaining a lot of ground, which you really have to start worrying about. I'm looking at Wayfast along the sideline, though. That makes me worry. She's not playing with her Tracer. There's no one making space for this Widow. Tap is on the other side looking for the flank. So it's all up to Valen to make their, or pardon me, Wayfast, to make their own space. But they've done it! They've got Lightskin Man out of the way, and oh my god, Mikey is doing a tear, some serious work on the back line of Karasuno.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, right now we're seeing that Valen is kind of all on their own right now as Tap tries to pressure them out. Wayfast gonna find Rise, Tap gonna follow up with Drake. We're gonna see Youngin get one, but I think this might be the full cap for Uprising Academy right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 real schools of thought for how you make space for a Widow. One, you actively push with her. The other, you just deal with the other Widow's backline. And Uprising Academy, much prefer the latter.
Yeah, Mikey just kind of dived in and was able to, you know, I think boop up the Mercy a little bit, just enough to get into Wayfast's, you know, LOS. And from there, your Widow hits your shots, and that's an easy kill for Uprising Academy. They are going to have Tap's Pulse Bomb online. That might be what they need to get into this fight.
Yeah, it's a solid recontest. Watch for the Pulse Bomb cooldown on Tap. They might not even need it with Youngbin already out of the fight. They'll commit it anyways. Take down Drake. That's got to be enough to heal this one out. Mikey Rise is already low. Can't even get the heal off. And Tap's kind of going nutso on the Tracer right now. And I think that only gets a little bit worse for him whenever it hits point B.
Absolutely, but Pizza Demon, I think on this Zen has been putting out phenomenal work as well. We saw the opening pick was from them. They're getting the Discord orbs out on the targets that they're trying to burn down, and I'm not even sure Karasuno really recontested that point, and now N2S all the way in the back line, all the way on that first point, is going to be kind of zoned out.
Oh, this poor guy. Can't catch a break. That spawn's going to be brutal, Jag.
That is a great stagger, and I mean, Mikey and Tap, they were all there, so great communication from Uprising Academy. Now we're seeing kind of, they're giving up a lot of point 2 on the side of Karasuno. They're just kind of backing out, waiting for that full re-engage, which is probably smart because right now they are down in the ultimates.
Yeah, down in the ultimates, down in percentage, down in map space, down in pretty much everything, and a Widowmaker. It's going to be a Resurrect traded out for it. Lightskin Man's easily going to pick up that res, but Wayfast has been dominating so far with the help of Mikey and Tap constantly in the backline. We're just mowing down players left and right. These Karasuno teammates cannot catch a break right now. There's more ultimates in the bag for Uprising Academy. They could keep going for another 5-10 minutes in just this fight, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, Falls had a huge eat right there on the Pulse Bomb. Very hard to eat, honestly, Pulse Bombs with the Sigma eat. Not easy. Oh, Wayfast almost getting a shot onto the Mercy. So close. PT Demon now just waiting up top. Is going to get booped off. And here's the recontest from Karasuno.
Well, they'll get a ball back in. Transcendence forced out by Drake. Pizza Demon still holding on to theirs. Just by the fact that that Transcendence is still up, there's no way that Uprising are going to let a fight like this go. Karasuno are going to swap over to a Sombra to try and stabilize things with an EMP, but do they even have time, Jack?
I don't think they're going to have enough time to build it, honestly. We saw that Valen didn't play the Sombra, I believe, last time. I believe it was N2S, so N2S was able to build those EMPs pretty quickly on Lijiang, but this is a different person playing it now. They want to keep N2S on that Tracer to try to take out Tap. So far, Tap has been winning those 1v1s so dominantly. We're going to see, though, a hack come out on default, so they're not going to be able to use that Grav Flux just yet.
Yeah, but now it's such great positioning from Uprising, right? Getting as many people onto the high ground as we can, trying to set up our Widowmaker, making space with Tap in the backline, who is hacked out, will get taken down by N2S for that. Transcendence is a little questionable from Pizza Demon, but it's going to mean a lost fight and a 1-1 for Karasuno. They are very happy to take that regardless of how it comes. Wait, Uprising Academy is still fighting over. Whoa! Mikey was
nowhere, swings through and catches everybody after the Gravitic Flux. They've turned it around. The mines are in the backline, locking them in. Karasuno are going to be set back to spawn. We're getting into last fight territory, Jag.
Yeah, Rise using the mines, not going to find anything. Mikey just a mad lad. If Mikey's alive, this fight is not over ever for Uprising Academy, is what I'm learning so far. We're going to see Wayfast swap onto the Ash. Very interesting. Not going to be able to build up that Bob anytime soon, but maybe with the damage boost, can just take out people, click some heads.
I mean, the range is even shorter. The Ash can just dish out obscene amounts of damage. And in
There
the fight still, Uprising are ahead. One headshot from Wayfast. The entire fight just feels like it's over. The one saving grace for Karasuno, that EMP 3% away.
Yeah, we're going to see that Judo is going to use that Valk a bit early. PZD going to be taken out, but rezzed up immediately. But there is the EMP coming in.
It's caught. Forge Ridro did manage to get the Valk off in time, though. A re-engage from Karasuno with the Coalescence is going to have just enough bite to it to help him stabilize, if not just for a moment.
Yeah, and I mean, that EMP was the saving grace. You called it out, and in the end was able to hit enough people. Making a swap now on to the Winston, so no more Wrecking Ball looking for the more traditional comp. They're going to swap basically to complete meta now. They're going to be looking for that really brawly dive, run in with that Reaper. And right now, there isn't anything on the side of either team to work with, so we're going to be starting from scratch here on this fight.
Well, yeah, the real pain is that Karasuno are ahead in a couple of ultimate charges, not by too much. So this one fight is going to be neutral, but if Karasuno can hold on, they'll be all right. Trading 1 for 1, it's Mikey who goes down. A super key pick for Karasuno, taking out the opposing main tank. Now we'll see Rise come and do whatever the hell he wants to the backline. It's going to be completely uncontested.
Yeah, Rise now already has those mines online right now. Just going to be looking to finish this fight off, but Youngmin almost getting demexed, and that could have been a huge pick, but not going to happen today.
You got to be careful you don't overextend into Uprising Academy. They will punish you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've just seen it time and time again that Wayfast on this Reaper is finding people out of position. He's able to punish them. He's able to take them down. Not able to find any picks in that fight previously, but now in a minute 30 on the clock, it's getting a little bit dire for Uprising Academy. It's getting down to 2-3 fight territory.
Yeah, it looks more than bad for them right now. If Karasuno stagger their ultimates out right, it's perfect for them. It's going to be EMP, Death Blossom. This is free for N2S. This guy's never had an easier Death Blossom in his life. Picks up 2 on the way out. It's not over yet for Uprising Academy, who will look for a re-engage with the Coalescence. With the level of Plague we've seen from them, it does seem like a possibility, but just not likely enough for them. With 1 minute on the clock now, they might not even finish this map that they were looking great on.
Yeah, a little too late on that Coalescence. Now Fall's going to be staggered out a little bit more, and they still have 4 ults used on the side of Karasuno, so that's a really good ult usage by them. Not throwing everything away on that fight because they still know that they have to hold this a little bit longer. 50 seconds and counting. Mikey does have that primal, but Jujo kind of has a free beat. Valen used that EMP, probably not going to be able to build it, at least in this fight, so they could use it aggressively or they could try to hold it for later.
Well, one big thing, Lightskin Man has to dodge the EMP, right? The sound barrier has to go through for Karasuno. He pops it early. That means the Coalescence comes through, but there's still an EMP on lock for Tap. He gets to lock this in later. This is going to be at least a card progressing to the end as long as it connects onto a couple of people. And there's going to be a bomb over top from Youngman. 16 seconds ticking down. Uprising waiting for just the right moment to pop their ticket. There it is. The hack onto 4 Pizza Demon. Good follow-up, but Karasuno are far from out of this one, yet they've charged up ultimates of their own. Valen coming in with an EMP of his own. 4 seconds left on the clock. We're going into OT territory.
Absolutely, and that was a huge hack onto Wayfast. Couldn't get that Reaper all out, but right now False is trying to do anything they can to keep this push alive. They have the bomb online still. Drake falling solo, but not going to die just yet. Enter a hack, didn't die.
No C9 quite yet. The tanks are back for Karasuno, but there's not an ultimate in sight. Drake goes down, and with that, their hopes of a Coalescence. Uprising Academy have so much control of this cart right now. It's just target prioritization and taking them down one at a time. Booped off is enough! Oh, the 4 C9! It's huge for Dridro.
Oh, that was a beautiful play. You know, honestly, I think that could have been sold out for a good while longer because you saw that the hack just could not get onto Rise, so that Hammond still had all the mobility in the world, but that boop sealed the deal. But Uprising Academy kind of faltering on that last point. They had so much time to work with, and now they've got nothing.
Not exactly, well, nothing for a time break, but making it through Junkertown, it's not exactly a small feat.
I mean, getting the full cap, definitely still great, but I was expecting them to cap of at least 2, maybe a minute in the time bank, depending on how that went, and they just got sold out a lot on that bend, I would say, getting around that first corner to the left, weren't able to do it, and I think Karasuno, their swap to the different composition really worked out in their favor. In the end, though, Uprising Academy still able to get that full cap.
Yeah, and now we go back to point A for Karasuno's attack, and I think a lot is decided here on point A. How quickly can you deal with that Widowmaker is going to be the question on everybody's mind, because Wayfast was ridiculous on the attack, and on the defense, I can only think things get worse.
Yeah, and if Valen is playing the Sombra instead of the Widow, then there's no one really to force Wayfast out of position unless they have the tanks dive them, and that's very possible. Rise can just roll around, maybe boop them off the high ground, put them in a position they don't want to be. But, with no direct DPS competition, it's going to be very interesting to see if Wayfast can just have a shooting gallery.
Yeah, we've seen a couple teams fall to this before, right? Where they try and counter the Widow differently. But no, okay, Valen's going to swap over. Yeah, you can't just ignore the Widow on Junkertown. It's one of the things, like, you just got to face it. Even if your Widowmaker's been losing the duels, but is Valen going to swap again?
Yeah,
going to the Sombra. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I really think they do need to do the Sombra 1v1, or not the Sombra, the Widowmaker. They really need to do the 1v1, try to pressure her out. We're going to see very similar defense right now from Uprising Academy that Karasuno had. They're just going to give them a lot of room to work with, but there's the first pick on the Valen.
That is huge. I think Valen was coming in stealth as well. That was just full spy check for Mikey, who's still playing out of his mind. You mentioned the Wrecking Ball being a signature hero, but he has looked unstoppable on literally every hero you put him on.
Yeah, absolutely. And now they're just going to try to clean up an N2S, who's going to get out, it looks like, by the skin of their teeth. Youngbin not going to be able to get out of there. And, Tap, once again, very close to that pulse bomb, but nothing else really on the side of either team. Wayfast just kind of holding that high ground, and with nothing to pressure him out, he's going to just have free real estate.
Yeah, whenever they saw the Sombra locked in, Uprising Academy realized this entire game is just a big game of protect the president, right? Keep Wayfast alive and you're going to be fine. And they've done that tremendously. Just spy check for the Sombra constantly. Don't let them get too far in the flank. Like, Wayfast is so out in the open. How do you even get to this if you're Karasuno? You have to cross an entire open field of just damage being sprayed at you constantly. They've finally gotten onto him. Ben's getting a bit of damage in, but in the meantime, their health bars are getting even lower. N2S, though, is coming up big. It's 3 to his name in just the one fight, finishing off the supports and the DPS line all at once. Is this guy even... Does he have breaks? Jack, I don't think he's going to stop. He's going to get this Diva, too.
He don't miss. Right now, he's probably going to finish off False. Is going to get really low, has to use the recall, but there is False. Yeah, that was a huge play, and I think it all started with the hack from Valen onto the Mercy. I believe that Jujo was hacked out, and then from there, they're just able to roll that. Now, will Uprising Academy even try to contest this first point?
Well, they've got at least a shot. It's going to be Tap coming in on Tracer as well. The Ash of Wayfast, we know it can be deadly. Mikey's got more mines, but N2S, his business isn't done yet with the Uprising Academy. He's still going to town. He's got 2 of the 4 kills yet, and that's going to be plenty enough to get Karasuno through these gates.
Yeah, very similar attack times. They both kind of ran through that first point. Maybe both teams should have played a little bit more aggressively on their defense, but here we are, 4 minutes and counting now on this point B. Tapping to be pressured out a little bit, and these fights, they just never stop. They just keep on going. These teams are pressuring out so hard on the attack.
Yeah, but it's so much better for Karasuno, right? There's so much opportunity for staggers here. They could even go for more should they choose to dive again.
Yeah, and then Youngbin eating the pulse bomb, so now they don't have that to work with. Tap throwing it away. All they have right now is the Diva Bomb. That's going to be hacked out. They are going to use the Valk, but here is the pull from Drake. And look where the payload is. It's just so far back. No one moving it. And just as I say that, they are going to get a little bit of momentum on it once again.
I mean, they're halfway through. We're finally back to a 6v6. Even though we've just seen like 4 ultimates used, even though we just watched a bunch of neutral game, nothing happened. All that matters is the mines from Rise being dropped right around the cart where it's supposed to be going, putting the brakes on the push from Karasuno as well. Pizza Demon popping off a little bit in the back line, taking out Youngbin and denying the dive entirely.
Yeah, maybe you should be popping Pizza Demon instead of Wayfast, because this man is hitting those orbs very proficiently. Now they're finally going to be able to reestablish a little bit of cart presence after giving it up. There's going to be the pulse. I'm going to be eaten by False too. So after all those ults, only one person falling. Now there's going to be some trades.
Yeah, Karasuno, I mean, you can try and trade this out, but there's just such an advantage for the defender spawn right now. Tap's going to go in for a little bit of extra credit, but there's not much to be found there. Uprising Academy have a chance to get back into this fight, but it's looking pretty slim.
Yeah, Mikey hacked out, almost fell, was able to get those shields back online, able to hit that button to get him what he needed to get out of that fight. And now, looks like we're going to see Rise staggered a little bit, and this is looking very good for Uprising Academy. They've had a very firm grasp on this point B since we've gotten here. After it looks like Karasuno might just roll through it. There is the EMP for Valen, though. I think that's their fight winner. Pizza Demon has to hide, has to make sure that he doesn't get hacked so we can get that Transcendence off.
Yeah, just hide from the EMP. Valen's gonna search for the back line. Oh, he spotted out the Zen. There's no, he's gonna try and force it. Yep, Pizza Demon's gone. That's gonna be at least a resurrect, but then the EMP is basically free. You know exactly where the Zenyatta is. Engagement from Uprising Academy. They need to win this fight here now before the EMP comes through. It's only called Mikey! It's one kill, and it might be the one they need. There's no more cart presence for Karasuno. They're constantly pushing here, but Uprising Academy have kind of run out of any degree of tank. Their health pool is just getting so low. Karasuno can fire at them from all angles, throwing in even a Coalescence to try and solidify this one. Pizza Demon has the even better support ultimate, though, in the Transcendence, keeping everybody up and giving way fast, notably, plenty of time to start popping heads. Pizza Demon still on the high ground, uncontested. He's gonna do just as much. It was a good fight, taking out Mikey and the tanks, but they forgot about all of the damage that was sitting up there above them.
I mean, you said it yourself. They knew where Pizza Demon was because the resurrection came through. You're not going to be able to go very far after you get res, but Pizza Demon, playing very smart, was able to hold on to that Transcendence, didn't use it for the EMP that only got Mikey, so they did sacrifice Mikey, just were able to stay alive, use it for the Coalescence, and now only a minute left for Karasuno. They swapped onto the Genji. Very interesting choice here.
Well, it might be the right choice, right? You're trying to dive the Zenyatta, you're trying to dive the Ashe, so it's gonna be the right one! The Youngbin and Pizza Demon! It's gonna be the match made in heaven without this Zenyatta in the way. There's no longer the threat of all those picks. Gridger, of course, gonna be picking them back up way fast as in, we'll call it no man's land, but definitely should not be back here. Uprising Academy are going to stabilize off the back of that, though. People have to divert their attention to go take out way fast. In fact, they can't even do that. Drake runs back. Remember, that's no healing for the front line. That's now in even more trouble. The EMP comes out late for Karasuno, but it's their only shot to try and take this one away. They've hit 3 of the 4 targets, still standing on point, but it doesn't matter. Falsus Diva is just ridiculous right now, finding 2 big picks onto the Sombra and the Moira, taking out 2 of the key damage dealers for the team.
Yeah, and the Valk being used a little bit early. There is going to be a bomb, but it's not going to find anything as they just get into a little hidey hole there. Yeah, the Valk coming out right before the EMP was what really kept them alive in that fight for Uprising Academy.
It's gotten so scrappy for Karasuno. I don't think we stopped fighting since we hit point B, and they're going to continue to do that. But they forget, Pizza Demon's been farming on the high ground for so long. Of course, he has another Transcendence up. A counter engage with the Coalescence plus a Sound Barrier. If they can't do it here, I don't know if they ever will. Gigantuess has a Blade and a Dream. He's got 3 as well! That might just be the savior they need, provided they don't run into the mines.
Yeah, that is going to be them cleaning this up here now. Only Mikey there to stall. Going to fall very shortly. Don't think anyone else. Going to just run away. Going to try to keep their life. And Mikey solo, very lucky to get out of there. I think Pizza Demon just used the Transcendence a bit early. Maybe they didn't think that N2S would have the Blade already online, but you gotta kind of guess that they would have it. Just used it, and you know, that Blade, as you said, getting 3, cleaning up that fight, and now Karasuno, 1 minute and 13 on the clock as they try to get a full cap as well, but not a lot of time to work with.
At this point, I'm starting to think, right, N2S did it on point A, he did it on point B, killing pretty much the entire team both times. He has to do it again. I don't know if there's anyone else on the team capable right now with the way they're playing of pulling out a big fight other than him. He's working his way up towards another Blade. The EMP's there as an alternate way to try and win a fight, but Uprising Academy are making it dirty. The EMP can only catch 2 with the good positioning that they've been playing from, but it is enough value. They've gotten both the tanks out, but Uprising Academy, how do they do it? Every time they get hacked, they start coming back in a fight. Great counter engage from the Primal Rage. A bomb to top things off, and 30 seconds on the clock for Karasuno.
I didn't even realize that Wayfast had swapped onto the Echo. That's how quickly they built that ult up. So even though they lost Mikey, they were able to duplicate onto the Winston. So they had 3 tanks in that fight. They still have mines. That's all they really have to work with right now. But we're going to see that Blade again come out from N2S. Will that be their saving grace again, or will it not be enough? As you said, they have to be the hard carry here.
All the weight on N2S to clutch this fight outright, making all the room he can for him, knocking him out and away, clearing the mines, clearing the way for N2S's Blade. He's got 2, another 3K with the Blade. He's going to need more than that, though, if they want a chance of actually reaching the end of the map. There's at least 1 more fight to go, but OT is constantly the threat at their back.
Yeah, the Coalescence again being used by Drake, and you know, I think they might have wanted to hold on to that. Now all they have is Youngbin's bomb. There is nothing right now on the side of Uprising Academy. They are close to that Trance and Pulse Bomb, but will it be enough? Will they be able to get those online, or right now will we see Karasuno match this map up?
If the Pulse Bomb hits onto Lightskin Man, that's it. It's light out for him. Karasuno will be done after that. If Uprising Academy are allowed to get this Transcendence off, it's game over. But they've dodged the Pulse Bomb and rises out of the fight now. Karasuno slowly losing the Sound Barrier was a little bit too late. The bomb's in. It's the last hope
for the attacking side. It doesn't find much of anything. They're playing with attackers disadvantage now. Spawn advantage for Uprising Academy as well. The Transcend is allowing them to just put so much damage in. Post-Trance, he's going to be an EMP from Valen to try and hack out, but it only connected onto False. The spawns are so good for Uprising.
Welcome back. Let's just apologize for the break. We got everything all fixed up though for a map 3. It's Uprising Academy, currently in the driver's seat 2-0 and looking dominant. I mean, Jag, you and I watched some ridiculous stuff. Hit me with the first half highlights.
I mean, the first half highlights have to be way fast on that Widow on Junkertown. I mean, just took that series a little bit into their hands. Had to swap onto the Ash, but still had a little bit of long range distance damage. Did so well. And then N2S really came up big on Junkertown. So close. Just wasn't able to get it done with that Genji blade at the very end, but so many clutch moments from that player. And then when it comes to Lijiang, it's just Mikey all day, every day. Did so well controlling space on that tank roll, on Winston, on Reinhardt. We didn't even see the Hammond. We did see that on Junkertown later on, but Mikey really putting a name out for himself here. And now we're going to be moving on to our third map, which is going to be Volskaya.
Yeah, and I think Volskaya offers up a different set of circumstances, right? We mentioned about how we thought we would see the Sigma Hog a little bit on Junkertown. I think Volskaya opens up the door to a couple more compositions, right? The Sigma Hog still pretty powerful, but also the rush composition that people have been running, right? The Devo Winston with Lucio and Moira, just as strong there. So I think there's a little bit of flexibility, and I think it takes the Wrecking Ball a little bit more out of the cards for Uprising Academy. So it was causing a big threat, and I don't think it matters that much for Mikey, given the fact that he was looking so good on every single tank that we saw him put on. But there's at least a little thing there that you can say Karasuno have up their sleeve.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree. Wrecking Ball, not great on Volskaya, except maybe stalling on second point defense, just trying to get someone to contest at the last second. But I don't know. I feel like comps have been pretty similar. They've been pretty, back and forth. I mean, we saw on Junkertown, as you said, we saw that Hog Sigma, and neither team really able to make it work. We saw both of them swap off by the end. So I don't think we're going to see more of that. I wouldn't be pretty surprised if we didn't see more Winston Diva. Maybe we see the Ryan come out. Maybe they just try to rush that point. We have seen that from other trials teams. Some mixed results. So it's very possible, but it's always fun to see some more unique gameplay switch things up.
Yeah, I mean, for Karasuno, there's a couple of things I'm looking for. Number one, just get more organized. I know every single one of their players really wants to clutch these fights out. So far, it's only been N2S to do it, and even so, he's had his entire team at his back whenever he does do it. But the 3-4 minute long fights where we're using all of our ultimates and the cart's moving about 2 meters, those have to stop right here and now. And I think they can get that in line in between two maps, right? That is entirely possible. That's a quick team conversation. Hey, we need to be getting out of fights early. We need to be recognizing when we're losing and balance before we give too much over to the fight. But can they make that difference?
I mean, that's perfect for a break, right? You got a little bit of time to talk things out, give yourself a little slap in the face, get some water. There is a pause right now, so get a little bit more time to discuss these things. So, good to try to figure that stuff out. And you're not out of the series yet. You are down in an 0-2 hole, but the reverse sweep is very possible. And like we said at the top of the broadcast, this game is so important. Whoever loses this falls down to 2-2. The winner goes to 3-1, which will give them a huge advantage at qualifying for contenders.
Yeah, it's worth noting that since almost everybody is tied for first right now, that 3-1 means a lot less than it may normally mean for some of these teams, but the standings will be shaken up by the end of today. So being on the top end of those is definitely advantageous. You really don't want the pressure on you by the end of it. And, somebody's got to get kicked out. And speaking of getting kicked out, that opens up 2 more slots. And I'll give you one guess, Jag, at what those are being filled up by. That's right. It's Trial of Champions, guys. You won't want to be missing that. We'll give you some more information after the game, but that's where those 2 slots are going. Hosted by Elo Hell, $3,000 prize pool. Enter your tier 3 team today. These 2, though, are fighting to not have to play in Trial of Champions because I bet neither of them really want to go through all that again, don't they?
Yeah, I believe because Uprising Academy is, the only academy team left in North America, they can't fall to open division. So I think no matter what, they will retain their trial spot. But Karasuno, depending on how the rest of their season goes here in trials, one game after this tomorrow, they could end up falling back. They could end up securing that second spot. Group A has been very volatile, honestly. I think that we both thought Odyssey would just kind of roll through things. They won Contenders only a few months ago, but right now also at 2-1. So 200 MS, a new team that's come on that we're going to see a little bit later, kind of making a name for themselves. So anything is in the realm of possibility, but we're going to see what happens right now on Volskaya.
Let's go on over to seeing what we've got for compositions, right? We talked about wanting to see a little bit of Sigma Hog, wanting to see the dive. Right now, it's only Karasuno following that advice, but they're locking in something pretty interesting in its own right.
Yeah, they're going to use that Sim TP, it looks like. I thought maybe to the high ground. There it is. They're going to swap off very quickly. So just trying to get that positional advantage right outside of the choke, but gonna swap. But N2S still on this Genji instead of the Reaper. So very interesting. They're going to be looking for some big blades. We're seeing a very similar comp, and Mikey is still indeed on that hand when we didn't think it was possible, but here it is. Maybe he's going to make us eat our words.
I mean, they're up 2-0. I don't mind a comfort pick here and there. The rest of the composition seems strong, right? Wayfast is going to harken all the way back to the Widowmaker that we saw earlier. Granted, it's an Ashe, but the sightline's a little bit shorter here, and that Dynamite's going to be a touch stronger. I'm not surprised at all by the Sombra of Valen. They want to break these points with EMPs, and it'll work perfectly fine. They've also got N2S, whose blades have been incredible, quite frankly. Now, though, as they set up right into the first, they're going to take the brunt of all the damage from Uprising Academy. Rise tries to make space. That space only lasts about as long as you do, bud. The first tick nearly given over, but there's almost certainly going to be a contest from Mike, who's valiantly walking on to the point here, sending Karasuno soaring right back into spawn.
A Nano going to be used onto Genji, probably just to build that ult up. He only has 50 health now, going to fall. So very interesting that Drake didn't hold on to that Nano there. You'd think that the Nano Blade might be their fight winner. Beats a Demon, still a little bit off from that Transcendence. So maybe a misplay. Maybe they're saying, hey, we don't need the Nano, just build the Blade. Very interesting. Karasuno still kind of in this fight.
I mean, it's the exact same thing that we saw in Junkertown. They just refused to give up fights, and now Rise is dead. It's going to be another 30 seconds off the clock just for that. Karasuno, you're kicking yourself right now.
Yeah, I mean, Uprising Academy, as we've talked about, has been very clean, played very well as a team, and they've done so well at disengaging, waiting for the full re-contest onto objectives. And as you said, Karasuno just playing a bit impatient, maybe looking for that entry frag when they really don't need to be, and it's just costing them more and more time. Half their time already gone, but Valen does have that EMP, and they know where that Zen is as well.
Oh, but they forced Valen all the way back. Valen is nowhere near this fight right now with the EMP. It's 6 versus 5 for Uprising Academy. They have a massive advantage as well as the ultimate. There's going to be forced point presence. But in the meantime, their backline's dying. Lightskin Man's gone. Wayfast, though, taken out as well, which is going to be a nice little piece for them. Transcendence in from Pizza Demon. It should be enough to win them at least this fight off the back of it. But keep in mind, Karasuno, they held on to the Blade. They held on to the EMP.
Oh, but Pizza Demon with the snipes onto both DPS. I mean, that's just going to help them get to spawn a little bit quicker, but that's going to be really big to building up his Transcendence. Again, a full ult bank right now on the side of Karasuno. They did not use anything, and now they have 6 ults. The question is, will they use all of them at once? They need to save something for that second point if they cap here. Your best chance at taking that second point is on your first fight after taking first, so they really have to be cautious.
Yeah, managing their ultimate economy. It's going to give them the best shot, like you said, at taking point B. If they can win this with a few ultimates up, it's about connecting those. A stick from tap onto the Winston. It's just damage, nothing more, nothing too scary for him. Popping Primal to get that health bar right back up. The mines don't really cut anybody off right now. This is a great shot for Karasuno to get back in on this point. Remember, they still have 5 ultimates up to do it. That's going to be a deadly self-destruct, though. Wayfast comes in, cleans up Valen. There's an EMP, but not much value. It's got to be N2S again with the Blade, but this time it's far less profitable.
The Nano coming out late too, so it looks like they will end up taking this point. They got the first tick, gonna get the second one very shortly. It's only the Mercy, Tracer, and D.Va alive. They are gonna get the res onto Wayfast though, so they might try to stall this out even longer.
They can. Mikey's in on Wrecking Ball. Pizza Demon's back on the Zenyatta's working his way up towards another Transcendence. Oh, and he's clapped Valen. Oh my lord. Rise manages to get the better of him afterwards, but the health bars are just getting pretty low here. They can continue to stagger this fight out. It's time off the clock, if nothing else, Jag, but it's gotten Uprising Academy a ton of ultimate charge.
Yeah, and look at all the ults that were used by Karasuno there. They only have the beat left. They used everything else to varying degree, especially that Nano again by Drake onto the Genji a bit late. So now the ults kind of are going to be in Uprising Academy's favor, and they're probably going to be able to hold this out for a little bit.
Way fast. Yet again, the dives are using Bob and everything in their back pocket to try and peel this one. Light Skin Man's on top. Way fast, somehow still alive right now. It's again, protect the precedent just like it was over on Junkertown. In the meantime, though, Karasuno have gotten a tick. It's a consolation prize, one you can put on the fridge, but you can't take it to the bank, Jag.
Can't take it to the bank, but depending on how Uprising Academy do on their own offense, that might be the win condition for Karasuno. The question is, can they get the full cap on second blade? That's what they really need right now. Got to 56.7%. They have the blade now. Pizza Demon so close to that Transcendence, but doesn't have it quite yet. If they can get that blade out before the Transcendence, that might be what Karasuno needs to get across the finish line here on Volskaya.
Yeah, if anything, it's inching, just dragging themselves across it. But Uprising Academy still has so many tools. Look at Pizza Demon, so close to the Transcendence. He knows what kind of tools Karasuno has. He's going to be hiding for a majority of this fight, backing away, knowing he's the most valuable player on this team. Finally gets a Transcendence. Does he pop it in time? He does. Saves everybody from the terror that is N2S. 19 HP to his name, and now 0 as Mikey zaps him on down with a Tesla cannon and looks to win another fight for Uprising Academy.
Yeah, the Nano Blade just couldn't find anything, and now it's just going to be Uprising Academy finishing up this fight. Valen is able to find one, but taken out by False shortly after, and now N2S swapping onto the Echo. This is something we talked about earlier on before the stream. Echo can be very good, but she can also just not do that much depending on how she is played around.
Yeah, we'll stay away from it though. Karasuno are coming in with a nice bank of ultimates, but Uprising, it still looks better for them. The Primal's going to be so good. Appealing N2S doesn't have the one really big win condition that they were going to rely on. Support ultimate aren't exactly there for them. And oh my lord, that is quite the time for a pause. But we're rolling with it anyways. Uprising Academy have a nice bank ultimates, Jag. Which way you see this one going right now, right before the fight starts?
I mean, they swapped off the Echo onto the Sombra, and she was found out right away. Can Valen hit a big pulse bomb? That's what they really need right now. Tap has a pulse bomb of their own. False has the bomb, so they can remech if needed. Mikey's so close to that primal. I do think this is going to go Uprising Academy's way just because of their spawn advantage. But, you know, if they can get the kills quick enough, Karasuno can get the full cap here.
Well, just about a minute on the clock here for Karasuno. We could be looking at another Junkertown situation where they just don't have that last bit of energy that it takes to push through these maps up against a team. I will use the word formidable, but I don't even think that's enough to call Uprising right now with the way they're looking. Tap immediately finds a pulse bomb that Valen couldn't. It's going to be another win for Uprising in a final fight territory for Karasuno.
Yeah, Youngben had a really smart play there. Was able to make sure they didn't get staggered out too much by going right into the Bob. Bob's not going to stop firing for anyone. But, you know, once Rise fell, that fight was basically over. Fell very quickly. Now the ult banks have flipped a little bit. There are going to be 4 ults on the side of Karasuno. Only 2 right now in the bank for Uprising Academy. They only have 30 seconds left, so this is probably going to be last fight.
Yeah, the nicest advantage they have is that they have one of those support ultimates. That is far better than not having any. Dritro might be able to get the Valk up in time, but not in time to save the Winston. In fact, he'll save himself. Big Primal Rage just in time, forces out the sound barrier. It'll keep Karasuno up for now, but after this sound barrier is gone, there's not much left in the tank. Uprising Academy are coming back in with a self-destruct, a Valkyrie, a Transcendence, a Bob. There's so much here for a re-engage. Karasuno need to find the frags and need them now.
Yeah, Bob gonna come out onto point. Transcendence still hasn't been used, but the Valk has. Ball's gonna get res, but isn't able to remech. Pizza Demon gonna find Valen, and right now everything is going Uprising Academy's way. I don't know if anyone's gonna be able to touch the ball. Is gonna try their best, is able to make it on at the last second. It's just a Bebe Diva and a ball and a dream. Not gonna be able to recontest, and that's gonna be overtime ticking away. Drake able to touch one more time, but it's just not gonna be enough. 63.8% on that second point for Karasuno, but not gonna get the full cap.
Uprising's ultimate tracking has just been incredible. Bar none, some of the best we've seen in Trials yet. I mean, every single Transcendence was perfect. They weren't layering support ultimates. They knew what they needed to do. They knew they could back away, look for a re-engage. Karasuno are getting played like a fiddle right now. Even when it feels like they're winning, it's just Uprising playing the economy game, right?
Yeah, I mean, this match honestly has been so close. We're praising Uprising Academy a lot, but it's really come down to the wire for a lot of this. I mean, Junkertown was super close, came down to 1 or 2 fights. Lijiang Gardens the same way. I mean, I think Lijiang Control Center was probably the most one-sided, and I would still say it wasn't very one-sided for either team. So you got to wonder, you know, Pizza Demon and Mikey, the comm structure, how that's changed and how that's really affecting how they're playing. Because, like you said, the ult tracking has been superb. So maybe Pizza Demon's in charge of that, also in charge of clicking heads, because, whoa, he has been going nutty on that Zen so far.
That's a title that I need, just on whatever piece of clothing or document, director of head clicking.
Don't worry, we'll figure it out after.
Can I get that printed out on like a
your
diploma?
agent will call my agent. We'll get it done.
Okay. My producer says he'll get it for me, and that's all I need in life. Forget a college degree, just director of clicking heads right above my monitor, and then nobody can ever flame me in my comp games again.
We're going to see a similar comp coming out from Uprising Academy, and it looks like Karasuno kind of going for a bit of a mirror from what we saw on the defense from the other team. They are going to be running that Sombra, that Ashe, and the Vol. So we've seen Rise and Mikey kind of go head-to-head, and I think Mikey's won a good amount of those fights.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by this pick from Karasuno. Valen will get one to open things up. It's nice. It's just going to delay for a little bit. It's not the biggest pick in the world up against Uprising Academy. But like you said, Rise and Mikey, those are the two to watch here. It's both main tanks, but one of them looks a little bit more uncomfortable than the other. I mean, this is Mikey's bread and butter, his ball and butter, if you will. It's gotten him plenty of point presence at this point. And now what is he doing back here? He's drawn so much attention away, and he's perfectly fine.
It's just the flank, and it's working. Like you said, kind of drawing attention off that point way fast, though. Gonna fall to Valen.
Oh, but the dynamite went off, and it's gonna allow Pizza Demon to finish that off. Mikey now being a nuisance just as much as... Can he get the power driver? No, he can't even get the health pack. It was hacked out a while ago by N2S, and that might just be the saving grace for Karasuno.
Yeah, right now they do have the numbers advantage. Gonna get the hack now on to False, but Tap able to find Rise. That might be what Uprising Academy needs now.
No man taking the way. Tap also has a pulse bomb in just a moment. Pizza Demon is 20% ahead to the Transcendence. Absolutely bonkers on the Zenyatta. Meanwhile, Karasuno forced back in the Mega Room. They're cowering, but they're holding the point. It's just one of those kind of for now situations. Mikey goes down. That is a big foothold back into this fight, though, for Uprising.
They used the EMP just to get Mikey out, so now that's something they're not going to have later on. It looks like they are going to win this fight, though. They took out Pizza Demon. Tap going to take out Rise again. This is just so back and forth.
I feel like Uprising have inherited the issues of Karasuno right now. They're drawing this fight out way too long. There was a point here. In fact, there's a point right now where they practically have all 6 ultimates. N2S doesn't have an EMP, and they should be dropping out. But they're not really. They're still going for duels here in the backline, and they're probably going to lose one of these 2 players that's sitting around.
Yep, Tap so low. Are they going to get out? Looks like they will, but now they're going to be so far out of the fight. No, we're going to see Rise get in there. That's a huge stagger. So now, less than 2 minutes left. They almost have 6 ultimates to use, but at this point, Karasuno is just going to keep circling their ults, keep cycling them, and Uprising Academy kind of putting themselves in a bad position.
Yeah, it's a painful one. 1:30 on the clock. I didn't think I'd be saying this with the way that Uprising has been playing so far. The bright side is everyone's got ultimates. This fight at the start is going to be not a crapshoot, right? There's a lot of strategy that goes into it, but there's going to be a lot of ultimates thrown out all at once. And the one thing I'm looking for, you got to kill N2S pretty early. You need to be targeting Drake if you can avoid the Transcendence. In fact, that's even worse for Uprising. They have to pop their Transcendence first. They have to push with this, but no, Tap's already down. They're already down players. Karasuno have so much in the bag to try and counter this afterwards.
Yeah, and that's a huge pulse bomb from, or not pulse bomb, Diva bomb from Youngbin is going to take out both supports. False just going to give their life, going to try to get out of there as quick as possible. Now way fast, the last one is going to fall here. Didn't get staggered out too bad. The good news is that they held on to ultimates. They still have the pulse bomb, they still have the Diva bomb of their own, they still have the Valkyrie. So there's nothing right now on the side of Karasuno, but they're so close to the EMP, but he's been found out. Will N2S be taken down? No. They need that EMP to hit, and they need it to hit everyone.
They used everything in that last fight. Uprising showed 1 ultimate. They showed the Transcendence, and then Karasuno was like, sure, we'll throw everything in. Now they're entirely reliant on the EMP. It's just like you said, and that EMP has to hit everybody. Uprising Academy has done a fantastic job so far of avoiding getting caught out on the important heroes. I'm looking at Dridro to actually avoid this. You can get the Valkyrie off, get the healing going, and keep your team up in the meantime. They've also done a fantastic job of countering. Oh, man. Found out N2S no longer in a good position. The EMP
Did it catch any? I don't think it caught anybody. Junkertown's gonna
right.
Valk immediately. You only trade out for Pizza Demon. Oh no, is that a ball in the water? That would be insult to injury. It's gonna be a take from Uprising Academy, but it's a late one and a lot worse than what we've seen from him prior.
Yeah, absolutely. A very late take, so not going to be a lot of time in the time bank. False having to use their bomb just to remake. They're probably going to go for a pretty quick engage. Valen will have that bob up, so they can use that if there is a click from these. Rise is going to give their life. Not going to matter with the cooldown for spawn. Going to be so quick for them. They have the mines as well, and Uprising Academy probably going to have to take some dry fights here before they can really get onto that point.
Yeah, no real snowball potential for him here. Maybe the Bob does something, but I think Uprising know that. I think they need to be careful in these fights.
Yeah, their ult economy has been so good so far. As we said, a little bit less good on that first point on Volskaya. It seemed a little bit more frantic, but they were able to get out a bunch of ults from Karasuno in the end. Knew their win condition, were able to get the Valkyrie online when it was most important. And now, you know, it's in their corner. Can they get it done? Can they close out the series here?
Rise with a nice boop onto the Ash, but again, Uprising just looking to build ultimates, just looking to play the neutral game. And honestly, they've got enough to take this fight now. They've got Mines, Bob, and a Transcendence all built up. Karasuno refused to take the aggressive right now, and it's cost them so much.
Yeah, here's the Bob coming out now. Gonna run through those mines a little bit, but the counter Bob gonna come out as well. But there is the first pick onto Drake. That might be what they need.
Oh, the mines are so deadly. How many kills is Mikey going to get with these? The Dynamite does miss onto Baby Demon, but that's just barely even matters at this point. Pizza Demon's still got a trance. That has to be it. Pizza Demon's trance should just seal this entire thing out in one press of the Q button. There's another ball on point to try and lock things, but Pizza Demon, forget trance. He's not done dealing damage, Jag.
He just wants to finish this out. He is the DPS support who's gonna kick your head. He's gonna finish it all. But here's the trance in bomb from Karasuno. Is that what they need to get back and hold this point?
I mean, it has to be safe here for Uprising Academy. They haven't exactly found the most picks. They do need a quicker re-engage. They're being really slow about this one. It's 6v6 now. We're all back to even. And Karasuno, they're coming up on the EMP. They could stabilize this. Maybe they don't even need it to stabilize. It's finally the Transcendence from Pizza Demon for a re-engage. But is it too little, too late? In for the EMP. Catches two players of Uprising Academy. However, the ball's still in. Mikey finally taken out. No more point presence, but a minute left on the clock for the Uprising.
That was an amazing recontest from Karasuno. I mean, I thought that game was over, and the bomb just kind of cleared the point enough for everyone to get back. So very patiently played by them, and it paid off. Now only a minute left. Mikey does have the mines, and they're basically in the same position they were before. Uprising Academy's gonna have all the ults they had for when that fight originally started. Right now, we're gonna see Rise has their ult. We do see the Valk online for Karasuno, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. N2S maybe a little bit trigger happy with that EMP.
We'll see. I'm looking at the mines from Rise that can really keep Uprising Academy off of the point. If he uses those right before overtime, I mean, that is just trouble incarnate. A couple of ultimates built up by the DPS of Uprising, though. Pulse Bomb connects from tap. It could be enough. Mikey's in, but so are the mines from Rise, completely cutting off the support lineup of this team. Have to battle their way through all of the explosives before making it on the point. False. This self-destruct just buys so much space. Oh, that was beautiful. It didn't get the kills, but it did make enough room for them to move back in. Recontest this. False is now back up. Remech hacked out his tap. If they can stay alive, though, on the Tracer, they've got plenty of damage to stagger this one out and take care of the rest of Karasuno.
They only need so little right now to cap this. They need to get these quick kills. There's still the Sombra and the ball now on point. They need to finish them up as quick as possible. There's one. There's two. Oh, so close, but the Tracer coming back into the last second with the Diva.
Uprising have to have it. PT Demon's got another Transcendence online. Trap's got another Pulse Bomb. There's no way they can screw this one up, Jag, and they don't. Uprising lock it out a strong 3-0 to take the first 3-1 of this Contenders Trials.
Absolutely. And I mean, this was really, I think, their first test so far. The teams they played so far, not as strong. And Karasuno, they made that so close. I don't think that scoreline really indicates how great they played in this series. Just, you know, a few mistakes here and there in terms of ult usage and maybe communication. But in the end, they're going to have to learn from them and try to get back into this because they are going to be taking the loss. Now, Uprising Academy putting themselves in a great position to finally, after so many times getting so close and not succeeding, they might finally get into Contenders proper.
I think this is honestly the best Uprising Academy roster I have seen to date. I would love to see them actually end up making it there. Karasuno, commiserations to them. They did look good. I think when the fights went long, they actually looked really good in the long fights.
It's just they were taking ones long that really shouldn't have gotten there, ended up wasting a lot of time off the clock. And like you said, it was a closer game than it may have appeared on the surface. And Karasuno still has a shot, don't they?
Absolutely. I mean, at 2-2, they definitely have a shot depending on how the rest of these games go, especially against, like, I really want to know how that Odyssey game went, because I think that will really be a big indicator of, you know, how the rest of the stage will go for the group. We're going to check in on that score, but we're also going. Oh, they took up the 3-0. So yeah, Odyssey up now 3-1, Uprising Academy as well. So I believe those will be the number 1 and 2. But there's another team still that was tied with them right before we started play today, and that was 200 MS. They were at 2-1 at the bottom, number 4 seed because of map differential, but they're going to be up next.
They will be up next. Before then, we've got a quick little winners interview with the Uprising Academy, one we haven't gotten to do in a long time. I bet this is going to feel great for them. Ladies and gents, you won't want to miss it. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I promised you a quick little winners interview, and that we have. We've got Mikey in the booth after one of the most riveting tank performances we've seen after seemingly putting new life into this Uprising Academy team. We are very happy to have him here. Welcome, Mikey. Congratulations on the win, and honestly, congrats on just an incredible performance.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to be here.
Now, the first thing I really want to ask is, just straight off the bat, actually, I'll jump straight into the deep end. How far do you think this team can go? You guys look incredible.
We're definitely shooting for top 3 contenders, and I think it's very realistic. I think this team has a lot of potential. We're getting better every day.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you guys look really, really good. You've looked pretty good throughout trials so far. I've got to ask, you and Tap just seem to be on the same wavelength a lot of the time, you know. Wayfast as well following up. So, you know, are you guys calming those things? Are you like saying, hey, you know, I'm going deep in, or, you know, so it's a calm thing then?
Especially when I'm on a ball and Taps on Tracer. He's like my little minion. I command him around to go on the same targets as me.
Yeah, it's working out. You guys are shredding it right now.
Yeah.
All right. He's playing a real-time strategy game while he's playing Overwatch. This is the brain in charge of the full dive composition. Well, we got to talk a little bit about comms. You and Pete the Demon, both relatively, you know, quote-unquote new pickups for the Uprising Academy team. How has that adjustment been, and how have you guys seeded into the comms? Because it seems like you seem perfectly comfortable.
Yeah, I definitely fit in well with this team because I'm like the leader of it. And I think Pizza added really good comms to the backline as well. So there's no real disconnect there between the front line and the backline. I always know what's happening. So it helps me a lot do my job.
Yeah, I mean, we were commenting that the alt tracking and kind of like fight planning seem to be just incredible. You guys are really on top of things. So I've got to ask, you know, you're facing, I believe, 200 MS tomorrow. Am I correct?
Yep.
I mean, do you think you guys can win out there and, you know, finish 4-1?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's very winnable.
Awesome.
Yeah, how much have you actually been able to prepare for 200 MS? They kind of just bounced in, if we're being completely honest. I mean, came out of nowhere, but they are a very strong team and one not to really be messed around with. Is there any special preparation that goes into it? Have you guys been looking at their VODs in particular at all? Or are you just coming in ready to play your game?
I mean, we watched like one thing of them, but we scrimmed them like a few weeks ago, and we were like going pretty even with them, winning most of the things. So I don't think we're like scared or anything. Pretty confident going into it.
Hey man, well, it sounds really good. You guys look like, again, I said it earlier, I'll say it to you face to face now. You guys look like the best Uprising Academy roster I have yet to see. So good luck in your future matches. One more to go. Try and send yourself off into contenders. Thank you so much for popping in for the interview, though, Mikey, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're not done today. Jag gave you guys a little bit of a preview of it earlier, but we've got 200 MS taking on the other bottom of the bracket team, Delta Force, if memory serves me correctly, or Delta Phoenix, pardon me, just a moment. And that's going to be for them to try and go 3-1 and give us an even larger tie up at the top of things. We'll find out if we can in just a minute. So keep your eyes glued to your screens and your butts in those seats. We'll be right back.
Delightful little plot player. Kill the turret. Go. Yay! You did it.
He's moving his crosshair like it's through soup, like he spilled glue on his mouse mat and then sniffed it. Please don't tell me it's Karku again. This game that we're looking at here on Eichenwald, there are 5 Masters players on each team, and there is 1 Plat player on each team. So, do you guys remember previously when I've done Spot the Smurf? This is the opposite. This is Spot the Sideshow. Spot the little boosted pleb in between all of the Masters players.
Did you know? Our statistics show that everyone not subbed is actually a hard-stuck bronze player. The more you know. And if you'd like to be a part of any of our videos, become a YouTube member today. More info is in the description.
So, I think we start with the defenders. What compositions are they running? This is the most recent patch. And we've got Hogzari, a double sniper with a Brig and a backline. This is looking something pretty similar to what the Seoul Dynasty would run. Let's start with the snipers. I'm not even 100% sure whether I would be able to tell the difference between a Masters and a... Also, by the way, this meta is such outright chaos already that I have no idea whether I'm going to be able to tell who is Masters and who is Plat. I should be able to, but at the same time, I feel like it's so much more obvious to find the good player than it is to find the bad player. Unless it's Karku. So I'm going to take a look at the snipers on the defensive team first. I mean, you can't really feed a sniper, so... But alright. Okay, I mean, that was entirely unsuccessful, but perhaps not really much more that could have been done. It might be that Widowmaker, though. That Widowmaker seemed profoundly unaware. Alright, I mean, this team is just getting rolled on this first attack. But I think it's more so because they just had no idea what the red team were going to be running. Alright, let's take a look at this Tracer, because that was our first... I believe we may have found the Plat player. I think we might have found the Plat player already, just right from the beginning. Seems to be quite unaware, was walking into walls... Is now trying to kill the Ana in the backline? What is going on here? This Tracer's trolling. The tracking is not that good either. More so, I feel like the biggest difference between Masters and Plat players is that they are very tunnel vision-y. Like, Plat players just have like one plan in a team fight and they ain't never moving away from that plan. Or maybe that's just me projecting my own failures, but that's what I tend to think of. Game sense and stuff? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every time I've seen this Zarya, they look like they know what they're doing. I'd be incredibly surprised if this was a Plat Zarya. Zarya looks good. Let's have a look at the Roadhog again. The Hog seems fairly aware. I mean, whiffs that, but... Oh my god, they're getting boomed. Okay, let's take a look at our favorite pick, the Tracer. Just blinks off the map. I mean, come on. It's gotta be the Tracer, guys. It's gotta be the Tracer. Going for the tactical reset there. Let's take a look at the Hog again. I think it must be not Johnny. Not Joni. I don't know. There's only one N in that name, so... It's confusing. Hog looks good. Good timing of abilities and stuff. Okay, the Tracer just landed a pulse bomb, so I want to see what the Tracer does with this pulse bomb. So far, I am pretty confident that this Tracer is the Plat player. Just the positioning is so poor. Oh, it was just in the middle of the grab, right? Yeah. Okay. Like, the places they're trying to take these fights from, it's like watching myself play Tracer. Except, I think I actually have better aim than this. Don't I have better aim than this? I mean, yeah, I'm a diamond player, but... I think I'm better at Tracer than this. No, you don't? No, not really? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I definitely have better aim than this. I'm definitely better than this guy. Definitely. Okay, it's got to be the Tracer. It just simply must be the Tracer on the blue team. It's everything. It's the aim synced up with the movement. It's the tracking. It's the ability usage. It's just everything. It's got to be the Tracer. Okay, let me just go for one final check. We'll wind this back to the previous team fight. We'll wind it back 20 seconds. And we'll take a look at the Hanzo and then the backline. Just to make sure it's not the Hanzo or the backline. I mean, Hanzo is Hanzo, right? It's... I mean, this Hanzo is also missing all of the shots. But he could be on an off roll or something. I don't think he's playing like a bot. He's just missing every single shot. I think the Brig is way too smart to be a plat Brig. There's absolutely no chance.
Get in there.
You know, I think I am better than this Ana, but then again, I am a Masters level Ana. Let me take this back a little bit and look at the Ana player. Don't give me the kappas in the chat. Don't give me the kappas in the chat. Oh wait, we already watched this potion. Okay, well yeah, let's just move forwards. Let's move forwards here. I'm pretty sure it's not Johnny. I'm pretty sure that it's not Johnny. And by that I mean the player named not Johnny, not... Alright, anyway. I don't... Oh, he's playing the Genji. It's so tempting to see what he looks like here. Alright, let's look through it. Let's look through it and see if it's the Genji. You mean reinforce? No, I don't mean reinforce. I mean not Joni. Not John with a Y. Who spells Johnny like that, by the way? J-O-H... J-O-H-N-Y. No. That's not how you spell Johnny. Okay. Let's take a look at this guy. They're trying to play full dive into an Ana Zen backline, which is pretty doable, but they have a Torb on the other team as well. I mean, this is just... This guy has to be the plat player. He must be the plat player. He must be. He absolutely must be. All right, I'm going back to the beginning of this round. I've already given up on this guy. It's definitely not Johnny. Okay, so let's try and find the plat player on the other team. Now, from the previous round... I mean, they rolled so hard. It was a 4-minute time bank on Eichenwald that I can't even really say I noticed anybody on the red team who looked bad. I don't know. So let's just start moving through them one at a time, I suppose. We'll start with the Winston and see if it's the Winston.
Defend objective A.
This definitely seems like decent Winston gameplay just from the beginning. Aware of when they're going to get pressured. Okay, they end up feeding a little bit there, but that was mostly because there was a nice ball pile drive from Very Canadian. Now let's move on to Lava. Let's take a look at what this ball player is doing. I feel like the difference between a plat and a master's ball would probably be very large. But maybe, again, that's just me saying that because I'm not any good at ball whatsoever. I'm, in fact, so bad at ball, I have no idea what a plat ball looks like. Because I'm just like a fucking bronze level ball. This Hanzo is really quite poor on the enemy team, though, as well. The blue team's DPS are kind of garbo, both of them. Okay. I don't think it's the ball. Not that I'm incredibly impressed, but I just don't think it is. Let's take a look at the Tracer in the middle of this team fight. Okay. This Tracer is clearly better than the other Tracer. Not, you know, like, not lighting the world on fire, but still, you know, clearly better than the other Tracer on the other team. Tracking is better, ability usage is better, the timing of the blinks with the aiming is just so much better, like they actually have a clue what they're doing at any point. Movement around the map and target focus, positioning. Yeah, it's not this Tracer player. It's not the Tracer. Let's take a look at the Torb in the middle of this fight. Very weird to be even playing the Torb. But at the same time, they did just set a 4-minute time bank against the blue team, so... Very possible here. Definitely trying to do some of the right things. Wait a second, the Genji just got a kill. Go, not Johnny, go. Let me see this kill on the, let me see this kill here. Go, little plat player, go. Go, you delightful little plat player. Kill the turret. Go, yay, you did it. Okay, let's take a look at the backline. So far, we haven't really found the plat player on this team. Maybe it's the Zen. Maybe it's the Zen and they're just very good at peeling for him, so I didn't notice in the first round. I mean, also, when the Tracer was that bad on the blue team, maybe they couldn't really abuse the Zen. I feel like it is. Already, he plays very slow. Like, he's not making many decisions per second. All right, we need to get in the middle of a team fight for us to really see. But this Zen seems to be just, like, randomly allocating the harmonies. He's not even trying to apply Discord Orb. He's not really making many decisions very quickly. He's just... It's got to be the Zen player, right? Like, this guy is significantly worse than anybody else that we've seen on their team. It's got to be the Zen. It's got to be. Let's take a look at the Ana and see... All right, go for a Kobe nade from across the map because they died earlier on in the fight. I feel like... both of the tanks were definitely better than Mazamel. And I think both of the DPS were as well. Kind of difficult to tell for the Torb, to be honest. Maybe it still could be the Torbjorn. Okay, I mean, that wasn't great either. Let's take a look at the Zen. It is kind of chaos. It's pretty difficult for them to stay alive. This aim is pretty poor. It's almost like their aim is lagging behind the target. The Transcendence came out a long time after the Dragon Blade, the Nano Blade was used. Maybe because they're smart and they didn't think they'd need it, but probably because they were just focused on the 1v1. Let's take a look at the Ana again here. See, good awareness that his backline is being pressured, so he goes back and heals the backline. Seems to be aware of where people are positioned on the map. No idea what that is about. Okay, pretty decent. It seems like the Ana is better than the Zen. Like, the Ana is definitely peeling for the Zen much more than the Zen is peeling for anyone else on the team. I think not the greatest gameplay in the world, but still, my money is definitely on the Zen rather than the Ana. Masters players don't make good decisions, but they have solid mechanics. I think that's a very stereotypical assessment. There are some Masters players that make good decisions but have bad mechanics. All right, let's go back to the beginning here, and let's take a look at the Zen on the offense. And then we'll do the same, and we'll take a look at... Actually, I still feel like it could be Isaac. The Hanzo was not doing anything, to be honest. But maybe they're just like a Masters player on an off-roll or something. No, this game was not close. This game was not close at all. It was an absolutely dominant slapping. But I think, I mean, this Zen did literally nothing in the first fight. It's Brig because they went Brig. The Brig was pretty good, actually, from when I watched them. I feel like the only people it could be on the blue team are the DPS, and the only people it could be on the red team are the supports. And I actually don't think it's the Ana at all. I think we just watched the Ana at an inopportune time. I think it's this Mazamel guy.
Here's a little chin music.
Like, he's just like, what? Why would you ever put your Harmony Orb on the guy coming back from spawn rather than on your Winston? Like, why would you ever do that? I like, and just the amount that they're going for right clicks and stuff like that, I feel like it has to be the Zen. It has to be the Zen. So slow in terms of their like awareness and movement around the map and this kind of stuff. That was where the Tracer was going into pressure. Oh, really? I didn't see that the guy had a Tracer on him. Fair enough. That kind of makes sense then. This is some Jaws level Zenyatta. This Zen has done nothing on attack. I feel like it has to be the Zen. Okay, let's skip forwards to the next round, and we'll take a look more at this Tracer, this Isaac guy. Because Isaac was not cutting the mustard on their defense. It could still be him. I mean, if it is Isaac, then I'm wondering how the hell not Johnny got to Masters. I mean, already this guy seems like he's much better than his DPS partner. Yeah, he just got pressured there by the Wrecking Ball and the Wrecking Ball and the Tracer. What is Isaac up to now? Trying to hit the shots. Fucking hell, man. Come on, Isaac, you can do it. You're a Masters player, for God's sake. You're a Masters level player. Off rollers, shaking my head. Yeah, that's definitely what I'm getting the feel of here. This is like a Masters support playing DPS or something. Then again, he's also just playing Hanzo, where... Oh my god. Okay, alright. Yeah, this guy is definitely better than the Genji on his team. Like, as much as you could meme on Isaac, he's performing better than Johnny is. Oh, sorry, not Johnny. The not Johnny gameplay is truly Papega tier. Okay, big Dragon Blade, big Nana Blade. I think this Dragon Blade is the two plat players against each other right now. I genuinely think this Dragon Blade is the plat Dragon Blade versus the plat Transcendence. That's what I'm going for, all right? Final answer. Final answer. Let's take a look at the the reveal video. I think it's Mehmetzel or whatever his name was, the Zen on the red team, and not Johnny, the DPS player on the blue team. Yeah, all making sense so far. Okay, Isaac was Masters. Isaac was Masters. All right. That solved that first dilemma. Okay. Kiva was Masters. All right. Not Johnny was Masters! No! No, 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 no. No, they were not. Sorry, they absolutely were not. Okay, so I got the Zen correct, but it was the Ana that not Johnny is a Masters player. Please don't tell me it's Karku again. Please don't tell me it's Karku again. They were a Masters level DPS player. They must have been like a Masters level... They must have been like a Masters level support playing off-roll or something, right? They've got to be off-roll. I mean, everything about their play screamed to me that they were plat. Screamed to me in my bones. Wait a fucking second. This guy's a Masters player?
Much better.
30 seconds remaining.
This guy's a Masters player? He's playing with a controller! He's moving his crosshair like it's through soup. Like he spilled glue on his mouse mat and then sniffed it. I'm sorry, there is no chance that this guy is a Masters player. He has got to be playing the... That's some main tank aim. That is some main tank aim. Of course the blue team got rolled if they're playing with this guy on DPS. What the heck? I feel like I'm just being too rude to the guy now, but that is incredible. All right, let's take a look at the Ana. This guy was actually plat. This guy is actually the plat player on the team.
Here we go. I will shield you. Not good.
You're going to be okay.
I feel like I might have been able to get this had I not been incredibly distracted by the horrific nature of their DPS player. But at the same time, I don't think this Ana really could have done too much more in this first fight because their Hanzo just got killed immediately by the Tracer and the Wrecking Ball dive. Yeah, I mean, the utility usage isn't the greatest, but I mean, compared to the just sheer papegery that was Not Johnny on DPS, I feel like look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! How was I supposed to ever guess that that guy wasn't the plat? I'm not saying the Ana's fantastic, but I would... If there's only one plat on the team, I still feel alright with my guess of this guy. Just... How was I ever supposed to guess that that guy was Moose Masters? This is like Karku all over again. Yeah, I mean, I've been bamboozled. I've been bamboozled once again. Once again. Ah, oh, wow. That hurt me. That hurt me.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The second to last day of Contenders Trials continues now with our next matchup. 200 MS going up against Delta Phoenix, who have been struggling, and I can't figure out why. My name is Dor, and I'm joined by Jag still for tonight's very, very confusing final match.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, Delta Phoenix kind of underperforming right now. They are going to be last right now in Group A at 0-3. Have not been able to get a win out just yet. Meanwhile, 200 MS, the newcomers, all from Korea, have been doing pretty solid. They beat Odyssey, the only team who's been able to do so in a very close 3-2, and now they're at 2-1. We talked about earlier, a lot of these teams were tied at 2-1 as we started this day off. Now Odyssey and Uprising Academy at 3-1, so holding that 1 and 2 spot shortly. This is going to be a very important match for 200 MS. They need to win this. Then tomorrow it's going to be against Uprising Academy. Whoever wins that, going to get a spot in Contenders proper. Meanwhile, Delta Phoenix just kind of trying to play spoiler here, trying to show, hey, we're down, but we're not out of this yet.
I mean, you're setting a big precedent. 200 MS have to win this. And although Delta Phoenix are down 0-3, I'm going to explain why. I have zero clue. I'm gonna read you off one of the most stacked rosters I've ever heard, right? Kage, Boat, Moopy, Infernal, Liar, Squid. I don't know how you lose games with this roster. They're insane. But they are. They're down 0-3.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you showed me this match without showing any history, I'd be like, man, this one's dead even. But no, like we have to give an edge to 200 MS, who, quite frankly, a load of Korean players, some coming from contenders, some coming from academy teams. Like, this is exactly what you want to come in and really start stomping trials.
Yeah, I think Muse and Dobie are definitely two players we want to keep our eyes on, both on loan. Dobie coming in from WGS, a Korean contenders team. Muse on loan. The only currently roster player on Eternal Academy who is, they're not really active anymore in the EU contender scene. But enough about other places. We're going to talk about NA, and we're going to be starting off on Lijiang Tower here. Then Junkertown and Volskaya. Those are the three maps that we're guaranteed to play. But we might see something else if Delta Phoenix can show up and play well.
Yeah, we've seen plenty of different stuff run, especially on Lijiang. It opens up a lot of compositions. I'm looking for Junkrat, Reinhardt, and a little bit of Zarya in the mix here. How about you, Jag?
I mean, absolutely. Junkrat's so good here. Short, area, small space, just Junkrat go burr, right? You just let those grenades go flowing, and then you get 1, 2, 3, 4 kills immediately. So let's see if Finale can pull it off. But it looks like we're going to see kind of the more meta heroes coming out right now from Delta Phoenix. That Reaper Sombra, very interesting. You don't see it played very much on Control Center.
No, but I mean, it's just as viable, right? It's close quarters. Think about a map like Mecha Base. It's going to be similar sort of engagement rules as over there. So the Reaper's bound to get a lot of value. It's just taking care of the Junkrat and the Symmetra. How do you match the damage that 200 MS are about to be putting out already on the aggressive? They've got turrets, they've got beams, and they've got bombs. Oh my, down goes the Reinhardt. Moopy under so much pressure. Delta Phoenix immediately buckling.
Yeah, I mean, they need the Reaper, they need Kage to do work, and you can't really do the work of two people when you're only one. The Reaper, a great tank buster, but not able to get close enough. But, even though we're going to see the first cap go over to 200 MS, that was a very quick fight, so we're going to see a very quick contest for Delta Phoenix once they're all there.
Both swapped over to a Doomfist? We have not seen this in a long time. It's going to be a quick engage. Junkrat is not super bad into Doomfist. In fact, he's pretty good at shutting him down with the mines, ruining a lot of the combos that Doomfist wants to do. It's going to be an interesting matchup in how it plays out. I hope Boat has something real special up his sleeve, but Delta Phoenix have already lost one. They're going to look for a re-engage here. And they don't have too many tools to even do it. Squid might get this Coalescence up in time. It's only a matter of time before he's got to pop it. Aggression now, and watch for Boat in on the back line. He's got Finale! All the pressure now up on Movie, but he still goes down! There's domain tank for Delta Phoenix, even though they gave themselves that advantage. The one kill from the Doomfist is bound to be the only one they get in this fight.
Yeah, Muse hitting a huge shatter on all of Delta Phoenix. That was basically the end of the fight there. They're able to hold on to their Symmetra wall. They have a Junkrat Tire coming up with Violetta's grab. Things are looking very good right now for 200 MS. They seem to be in the driver's seat, but do not put out Delta Phoenix just yet. They have a grab of their own coming online.
Yeah, there's nothing like a Space Gem combo up their sleeve, though. Both just a little bit too far away. 200 MS still at a distinct ultimate advantage, and they're going to use it to push aggressively in this fight. Finale still has a tire. There's still the wall up, and they'll use it to finish off the fight. They want to hold on to this Graviton for later. It would be a great way to seal out the match. Can the tire be the finishing touch they need, though? No. Down it goes, but they catch Kage out on the backside.
Yeah, I mean, your Symmetra is getting picks as they're trying to get out, so the tire at that point might just need more of a zoning ult. And you're seeing right now, they're playing very aggressively in that white room, probably just going to look for the engage as soon as Delta Phoenix comes out. They do have all to work with now. This is a fight they need to win.
I mean, the ultimates are practically dead even, but there's a distinct advantage for 200 MS because of all the spam damage from the Junkrat and the Symmetra. The turrets are so much worse, but Boat's going off. He's got the support and the Symmetra right now. 200 MS putting on the brakes, recognizing loss, and allowing Delta Phoenix to take this one, but it definitely wasn't easily fought.
Yeah, I mean, they committed a lot. They still have a good amount of ults to work with. They've got the Reaper ult, they have the Shatter, they have the Coal once again, so they should be able to hold this for a little bit longer, but this is right now final fight if they lose it, so they need to be holding on to this point as long as possible. 200 MS right now in one fight territory to take this point.
So close, but they don't have many ultimates. Delta Phoenix can start rolling these. They're going to feel pretty good. Great combo onto Muse, putting all the damage onto the Reinhardt. They should be able to follow this one up with a win based just on that. No main tank means no fight for you. Say Delta Phoenix as they send them back to spawn to go lick their wounds.
Yeah, the Amp Matrix is going to be committed by Vigilante, but all that charge is pretty fast, so not a big deal to lose that in the end, but you got only a few ults out. I think it was only the Coalescence that was committed there, so right now Delta Phoenix being very patient with their ult usage. Right now, they might be turning this point around. The question is, can they win this next fight? Can they win the next one? They've got to win 2 to 3 more fights to win this round.
Yeah, they don't have an option other than to be patient. 200 MS, though, have the pleasure of using them when they want to. Finale finds 2 with the tide, open things up. It's going to take a huge comeback from Delta Phoenix. I'm looking at Boat and this Meteor Strike. How much damage? Not enough is the answer. 200 MS still large and in charge. Are going to tick back over this point in 99.
Yeah, and that might be Ultra Liar going to touch at the very last second. They're going to take him out very quickly. Now it's just the Reaper and the Moira wanting to be taken out. Gonna find one, but there's the Reaper ult. Gonna be canceled though by the DM. The beat coming out. The Rhine gonna fall. And that is gonna be it. 200 MS. So close. Not just yet, but Pote gonna make me eat my words. They're still able to touch, but it's not gonna be for anything in the end. A good effort, but not good enough, and that's going to be the first point of Lijiang going to 200 MS. And I want to point out something really quickly. Moopy hit a big shatter, but that tire completely canceled out, and then you saw the counter shatter come out on the side of 200 MS. Muse just getting the better of this Rhine battle so far.
Yeah, I mean, you have to assume so much of it is because of the DPS lineup. You're running Junk Sim into a team that's barely even trying to harass your Reinhardt, right? Boat was doing his job, punching the Reinhardt away when he could, but that takes setup time. He's not always there to help out, so Moopy's just under a lot more pressure. But as the map shifts, Delta Phoenix can breathe a sigh of relief. They can still run this composition a little bit, but 200 MS are changing things up.
Yeah, we're going to see the dive tanks come out. Everything else the same, though, just the tank line's different. 200 MS going to run that Winston Diva. Going to try to be a little bit more versatile, a little bit more mobile. Question is, will it work against this Rhine comp?
For 200 MS, this composition is win more. If you can get this first fight, if you can win the neutral, you'll feel pretty good because you'll have EMP. Feelings is already 60% up to the EMP. Even if they don't win the fight now, they're going to have an EMP by the end of it. This is ridiculous. Oh no, the boot could be big. No, just barely gets away with their life. Finale down. The 200 MS need to be a little bit careful. Temper that aggression a little bit, or else they're going to risk losing players. They'll take down Kage, which is a big threat gone from Delta Phoenix. Now severely lacking in damage. It's just Boat to do it. But Feelings is 30-40% ahead in ultimate charge. Even following this fight, 200 MS should be just fine.
Yeah, Vigilante going to commit the Cole. Boat or Squid not going to use theirs. So that is one ult they will have in their pocket, but it's the only thing they have right now. Feelings getting such good EMP charge on that. They hacked Moopy, and I think that was basically the go key for 200 MS. They all collabs on that Rhine. It was the first one to fall. So very good coordination from them so far. We're probably going to see Squid use this Cole to try to engage, but if Feelings can hit a big EMP, that Cole is not going to get much value.
Feelings, what are you up to, you dirty dog? There he is, catches everybody with an EMP. One ultimate down and a whole 6 members gone for Delta Phoenix.
Yeah, Squid's Cole canceled, and that was perfect. I think that hit literally everyone on Delta Phoenix, so great play by Feelings. Now they have some tank ults to use in the bank for 200 MS. We do see an EMP though for Boat, so they could try to combo that with a Shatter. They could try to combo for Infernal. Right now 60% and counting for 200 MS, so Delta Phoenix really has to take this point soon to have a chance to even up this map.
Immediate shatter from Moopy, and it's found plenty of value. Another EMP thrown on top of it. Delta Phoenix are throwing everything, the kitchen sink, the garage sink, maybe the bathroom sink as well, into this one. That's gonna bite him later.
I would think you'd probably throw the bathroom sink before the garage sink if you're so lucky to have one, but absolutely, I mean, they invested so much. Now all they have is Liar Speed, and look at Vigilante. They're still stalling this out. It's at 83%. This fight started at 60, so even if they lose it, they got ultimates out. They got so much more time on that point. It's almost win fight territory. I think they might be able to recontest this if they lose it on the side of Delta Phoenix, but look at the ults that have been built up now for 200 MS. Right now, Kage and Liar, they are the saving grace if they can get those ultimates off for Delta Phoenix, but so much going to be coming out right now for 200 MS. They might just take a dry fight, you know, try to get some more out, and then go in with a full ult bank.
To me, the only timer I'm looking at is the EMP. Whoever lands the bigger one. Oh, and Boat goes down. No longer building up charge. They believe in this fight in the back line with the Death Blossom. How much does Finale get? It's plenty of damage, but no frags. Instead, it's his teammates cleaning up the point. Kage goes down. Death Blossom into 86%. Final fight territory for map 1 with Delta Phoenix.
Yeah, Kage, very smart. Didn't use that ult. Still has a little bit of time in the bank. Now comes down to that and Liar's Beat. They didn't use either of those ults. Moopy swapping to the ball, probably just to try to get the contest, but is going to get booped. Will they have someone who can touch in time?
Okay, Moopy will get on, but on the Wrecking Ball, not really charging up any useful ultimates. 200 damage. They still have an EMP. Feelin's happy to pop it just on Moopy. Liar gets a sound barrier off regardless, but you only have 2 members up. It's just not pretty sights here on the point. They wish they had those ultimates they used later. Delta Phoenix will go down 1 map in the series. That EMP doesn't even matter. You know, it had the stats all you want, Boat. You wish you had it the fight before.
Yeah, and Kage trying to go for that big Reaper ult, try to get the Death Blossom, and in the end, just did not get the value they were looking for. I felt like the beat might have been used a little bit early by Liar. I thought we first saw the beat actually come out from the other side, from 200 MS, but they used it once they used their Reaper ult, so maybe a little bit of a panic play there. In the end, just not able to get it done, and 200 MS going to go up 1-0 pretty decisively on Lijiang.
Yeah, and I honestly don't think Delta Phoenix looked bad. I think they just had specific bad fights, right? You go back to the first fight of Lijiang Tower, and then on Night Market, it was very clearly the fight where they dumped all of their game-winning ultimates right down the drain. But those 2 fights lost them both of the maps in one fell swoop. They've got to clean up those critical mistakes because the rest of the time they look pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the neutral fights looked pretty clean. I think it really came down to composition, you know. I think they might have just not run what was best for them. You know, we saw them come out with the Reaper Sombra, and it kind of got run through by the Symmetra Junkrat, just so much damage coming at them. And then, you know, the tanks on the last map that we just saw, you know, they were running the Rein Zarya, same thing as they ran on Control Center. Not as good on Night Market as it used to be, you know, with the dive tanks that are kind of in their face. We saw on that first, the second point, you know, they got the first hack on Moopy, and from there, they just kind of rolled through the Rein. It's just an alt battery. But that's enough about Lijiang. We're going to be moving forward to Junkertown.
Now, you know better than anybody, Jag. I dig myself a little bit of Junkertown. It pulls the pressure away from the tanks, and all of a sudden things turn into a bit more of a DPS game. Widowmaker's going to come out almost no matter what, and I think it's going to look a lot more like the first map that we saw on Lijiang Tower, where it's all about those DPS picks. This time, though, Delta Phoenix, they've got to be more flexible. Like you said, they were in the same composition, both points. How much, like, they should have practiced more than one comp. I have faith that they've practiced more than one composition, but if they lock it in for a third map, I don't even know what to say at that point. There's good odds they just come out with a Widowmaker, though, and I don't doubt 200 MS are going to be doing the exact same thing, and we're yet to see the full potential of that DPS lineup.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we call it meta. I could call it almost a cookie cutter strategy, and the way I say that is because, you know, you make so many copies of the same thing and you just try to keep doing the same thing, and it might not work out. You know, obviously meta is meta for a reason. It gives you the best advantage to win on most maps, but not all maps. Flexibility is so important, you know, adjusting to what your enemy team is doing, sometimes mirroring it, even if you haven't practiced it, just try to get, you know, the same kind of comp that they're running can help you sometimes, but I've got to assume they have something planned for each map. I was a bit surprised they stuck with the Rein Zarya last time on Lijiang. We'll see if they can switch it up here and maybe tie up this series.
I hope so, and I'll throw out another guess. 200 MS really strikes me as one of those Sigma Roadhog teams. I think they can pull it out with a Zenyatta Mercy, break out a Widowmaker, maybe throw a Tracer into the mix. I mean, it's such a good composition for running on a map that's as scrappy as Junkertown, but they're going to be running with Rush plus a Widowmaker. It's a pretty interesting pick. What do you think of this, Jag?
I'm not sure what to think, honestly. It's interesting because, you know, you lose your hack potential. Obviously, Sombra not known for her damage dealing, more her, you know, ability to kind of get rid of people's abilities with that hack. EMP is such a great ult. I think it can work, but look at the tank duo we're seeing come out from Delta Phoenix. It's just what you were talking about. It is that Hog Sigma that you hold so near and dear to your heart. So I think it's going to be a little bit harder right now for them to make it work. I mean, Hog is so vulnerable when he's hacked out. Not as vulnerable to a double sniper comp, because we're going to see Finale go on to that Hanzo. It might just be for the scouting arrow. Let's see if they keep it.
Yeah, I would like to point out, DPS-wise, I'm not sure how much better you can ask for than Kage and Boat. Kage's Widowmaker is quite literally legendary within the tier 2, tier 3 scene, so keep an eye out for some shots over top. Felins Dropped down to half HP, lucky to get away with his life, but we're still back in that neutral game, waiting for the card to get under the bridge, and that's where the Roadhog Sigma really thrives. Forget about the first part of the map, where the dive is really strong. Roadhog Sigma wants to play the split angle, but Feelings catches boat out. He's getting way too big for his bitches.
Yeah, Feelings got 2 picks. One of them did get res, but now Liar gonna fall shortly after. So this is kind of disaster. You try to hold that corner a little bit farther back, but you aren't able to do anything. And Feelings getting a headshot onto Kage. Stop it. They've got families at home that they're trying to get home to eventually, but now we're gonna see the swap. Both gonna get off of that Hanzo that really wasn't working so well, and it looks like we're going to be going back to that cookie cutter strategy that I was just talking about. We're going to be going to the Reaper Sombra Winston Diva.
I think it's all right on this point, though, right? It's going to be a lot better off. Feelings, he's going to have a hard time doing some stuff on the Widowmaker unless they can deny them the space on the tanks. But no, full swap over. All right, cookie cutter versus cookie cutter. It's almost Christmas. It feels appropriate, to say the least. Still a couple months out.
You can make cookies for spooky season. It works for Halloween.
Yeah.
But yeah,
never too early. Here come 200 MS, though, looking to even up the score on the attack. Take some more space away from Delta Phoenix, who have held their ground on the high ground. Actually, they're in a pretty good position in this fight, but it's Finale. He's putting in a ton of damage. They take care of that problem, though, real quick and hold their ground to stabilize the game.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to see Violetta get out by the skin of the team. Actually going to get DMX, so that's huge because you're either going to have to throw yourself off the map or go back to spawn and swap. So they are not going to give up that ult charge. We're so close to that pulse bomb. They have some stuff to work with. They do have the primal. They do have the pull. And Squid's so close, but not quite there. So if they engage frequently enough with their ults, this should be a one fight for 200 MS. But they have not moved the corner at all since they capped first point.
No, and getting past this high ground is going to be so tricky for 200 MS. Yes, they have all these nice movement abilities, but they want to use those to get away, not get in. Use Force to pop this. Now it's going to keep himself alive with the Primal Rage. It's done plenty of damage, but Delta Phoenix haven't lost too many players in the meantime. Infernal's out of the way. They've got a couple of ultimates to trade back. It's the EMP catching onto 5. Remember, the zombie use translocator. It's a big lack of damage. Moopy has to do it all, and he absolutely will. Here he comes, the Primal Rage to clean up, and he's happy to do some ape escape.
Yeah, and the EMP was huge. Perfect timing, even though they lost the Sombra damage from Boat. I mean, they're just cleaning up right now. Moopy just going on a tear there with that Primal, as well as just a little bit of zap. But the question is, did they commit too much? Because Liar used the beat in what seems like a one fight. I didn't see anyone too low either.
Yeah, it was a shaky one for Delta Phoenix. Ultimate usage really hasn't been their strong suit in this whole thing. One might say it was really the weakest thing about the team, but they'll trade it out for Dobie, and him going down is huge, right? No sound barrier allowed, and I think 200 MS are honestly just going to put on the brakes on this one. They don't want to take a fight at that kind of disadvantage, but they don't realize how much ultimate charge they're giving over to Delta Phoenix right now. It's not an insignificant amount.
Yeah, I mean, Boat already so close to another EMP at 86% and counting. The more I talk, the more it goes up. Feelings does have that EMP, but, you know, in that span, Boat's going to have 2. So the question is, will Feelings be able to use it? They are in the back line right now, so they could be looking for a big one, but you see they're playing kind of split on the side of Delta Phoenix, so it might not be enough if they only hit 1 or 2 people with that EMP.
Yeah, Delta Phoenix are doing a really good job of spreading out so this EMP can't catch much of anything, but they still don't have too many re-engage EMPs. They'll go in with an aggressive one of their own. Immediately, it's going to be Dobie popping the sound barrier of his own design. Counter EMP now, and the bomb's actually going to peel really well. The self-destruct almost peels away the entire EMP in its own right. Now Delta Force can look to re-engage with their Coalescence. Vigilante doing the exact same thing. Mono Moira on Moira action right now, but it's the bomb you need to watch coming over top. How much does 200 MS get? Not enough to even out the fight. Moopy comes up with one more.
Moopy is just cleaning house right now. Muse committing that Primal very late in that fight. And, you know, Finale has been holding on to that Death Blossom. I thought we might see it come out. Maybe wanted to play it a little bit more safe, but after a great first attack, they've been held out for a while. Only 2 minutes, now less than 2 minutes on the clock for 200 MS. So right now, Delta Phoenix doing a great job at holding, and they've built up their EMP once again after one fight. Boat is right now just crushing it on the Sombra.
Another EMP. How on earth is this man doing it right now? That's an easy 6-man hack for him. The follow-up is there. Liar takes down Finale. Without the Death Blossom, there's no real chance of a comeback in this fight. Delta Phoenix will clean up yet again with minimal ultimates being needed.
Yeah, only the EMP being committed. They're not going to finish up all the kills, but they are going to get the rest of 200 MS to retreat. Boat is trying to do a little bit more. Poke is already at 42%, so close to half. I mean, Boat right now is just doing so well on this Sombra. You talked about how you thought Kage and Boat were just a great DPS too. Right now, they're coming alive and they're showing it.
Finally aggressing onto the high ground. 200 MS, not willing to give it up this time, using Coalescence to force him off. Squid gets a second one, though. Second support ultimate. You guys know the rule. It's going to be used appropriately to drop Muse down to next to no HP and out of the game. Finale has a Death Blossom, but he won't even get the chance to use it. That EMP's so late. What are you doing, Phelan? He's going to regret using that one. Boat's about to get another one online. This is awful for 200 MS. They've only got a minute, Jag.
They did get Moopy though, and that might actually be a huge pick if they can re-engage quick enough. Right now, they're trying to regroup. There's no main tank on the side of Delta Phoenix, just respawn. Boat does have that EMP. They might commit it a little bit early if they panic. Dobie does have the beat, so has to hide to make sure that they aren't hit by the EMP.
Dobie has to get this off. EMP Death Blossom. 3 words alone will end this fight for them, possibly even end this map's attack. Catches 3, but not the Lucio. Dobie gets the sound barrier off appropriately. Well done by 200 MS so far, but they've got to get the re-engage. They got a Death Blossom and a bomb of their own to do it. Backing away now, Delta Phoenix is going to look for a re-engage of their own, but they've only got a Primal Rage, and Moopy, he hasn't really been able to open fights with it. He's been able to close. He's got a lot to prove here, as his teammates are doing plenty of damage. He's got down the main support, though. That's huge for Delta Phoenix.
Yeah, right now it looks like it's all in Delta Phoenix's corner. They get the hack onto the Diva. They see the Finale has the Death Blossom, hasn't been able to use it at all. Here's the Cole now coming out from Squid and the Death Blossom being used, but I don't think it's going to be enough here.
Oh, Squid's looking so great late into the fight. Moopy is holding strong again. This guy's Winston has not stopped. Muse finally takes him down, but it's too little too late, Jag. Delta Phoenix are going to hold this on point B. I mean, you and I were watching the same point A, right? Like, they got steamrolled. To hold after that?
You gotta wonder, like, was the swap off of the Widow the play? They went for the mirror matchup, and Feelings was on the Sombra, but Boat was just out EMPing so much, building that EMP so much faster. That Widow was so great from them. And then, you know, obviously, second point doesn't have as many great sightlines, but you can still use it to pressure them out, make them scared to peek, and in the end, you know, a great hold from Delta Phoenix. Question is, can they take this map? They had a great defense, but can they replicate that same success on offense?
Well, I think their odds are a lot better, right?
Absolutely,
when we talked about what the issues were after the last map, we talked about them having major slip-ups every once in a while. You can afford to have those on attack, though, right? You can afford to have those every once in a while. You're no longer giving up space for it, maybe allowing them to take a point. It's you can reset and take it from there. And like you said, with Kage, Moopy, and Squid looking as on form as they have right now, I have no doubt that they won't have many problems getting past here. It's about winning that DPS duel on point A, though. That's where it gets real tricky.
Yeah, we're going to see a comp come out from 200 MS. We're going to see that Hog Sigma. We're going to see the Mercy Zen make an appearance. You know, that if Zen can frag out, he's basically your third DPS with a heal ability as well. We'll see if Vigilante can get it done. Finale going to have to be kind of berating them in the backline, causing a lot of trouble. Boat probably going to switch off of this Hanzo momentarily, just going to use it to get a little bit of value. And now we're going to see a complete swap. Actually, they're going to be doing a bit of a mirror. The only difference is that they have double snipers.
I like this, though, from Delta Phoenix. So much pick potential on this team, but all you need to break point A is really just one pick. So Kage's offering them up a shot, Boat's going to be offering them up a couple shots here and there. Infernal will give them a little bit of cover. Liar's just making it more and more deadly, and there it is. One shot, and that push becomes so much deadlier. Yes, it'll be resurrected, but that's one ability now no longer in their back pocket. Delta Phoenix are gaining a lot of space here, but 200 MS happy to capitalize by hooking out Infernal and taking him down.
Yeah, now it is a 5v6. They are still moving the point, and Boat's gonna even it up. Vigilante gonna fall, and then picks on picks. This could go anyone's favor. Finale trying to get the pick onto the Widow, but isn't gonna find it.
Yeah, and he spent a lot of time not doing much of anything, unfortunately. He's built up a little bit of a pulse bomb, but Squid's giving in the deeps. And now Finale's out of the way. It's all about this Widowmaker versus the Ash, but Ash can only do so much from range. Delta Phoenix has so much room to work with. They're cruising through A.
Absolutely, they're so close to capping B now. And again, the question is, will we see a contest come out from the defending team? They do have the time, but do you take that fight or you try to set up? It looks like they are going to take it. Finale going to touch it the last second.
It's going to be a close one here. Violetta and Muse back in, waiting for their Tracer and their Ash. They need to get the DPS in order to secure the point before 200 MSs get back. They're going to use the Bob. They're going everything to try and contest this. They don't want to go to point B, but Delta Phoenix just whole hog everything in its mother off of the cart to make sure it does.
Oh, poor mom. Hope she's doing all right. But yeah, the whole hog. But Kage really opened that up, getting those first 2 picks. that was just great. You talked about Kage's Widow, and it is on full display. It's a shame we're not seeing the Widow battle kind of happening because Feelings is going to be on that Ashe. And you got to wonder, was that the right decision for 200 MS? They're going to have to do a little bit more of a quick setup here. Not really going to be able to set up as well as they probably could have if they had given that fight up some time off the clock. But Squid opening it up with the pick of the Feelings, that's not what you want if you're 200 MS.
Wait, where did Squid come from? Was he on the, he's on the high ground? Oh, he's pushed all the way up with Infernal on the side flank. He's further up than his other tank. What is going on? They're going for stagger picks right now, and if this resurrect goes off, huge advantage. Boat! Oh my lord, he's made this entire push possible. Picks on point A, picks on point B, throw the dragon in for good measure. It's a cherry on top. The white box of victory looking so tasty for Delta Phoenix right now. Pushing in with the Valkyrie, they've got a lot of sustain, but if they give Delta Phoenix time, they're gonna have a little bit more time to get that Roadhog a couple of picks. Vigilante now hooked out, the last member left. It's gonna be the Wrecking Ball, the only one with substantial amounts of health, but that's dropping ever lower by the second. The Discord is gonna make it even easier. 1 meter away from the victory. Delta Phoenix high up the map in convincing fashion.
Yeah, we got a series, and you know, it's a great pleasant surprise to really see Delta Phoenix come back alive. They did take a map off of Uprising Academy at the first game of the season, so you know they can definitely play up to their opponents, but 200 MS just dropped the ball there, and we saw Delta Phoenix really capitalize. It looks like they finally are playing the style they want, and boy, Boat just really made that series their own, really took that map in, and Kage also doing the work. You said it was a DPS battle. We saw the DPS on the side of Delta Phoenix prevail there.
Yeah, they look a lot cleaner. I won't even say 200 MS like slipped. I feel like that was a very similar 200 MS to what we saw in map 1. Delta Phoenix just cleaned up their play. That was all it was in map 1, right? It looked really bad, right? It looked like a couple of really bad fights, but it was just frayed edges here and there. They bring that together, they look a lot better. Now we're heading on to at least a guaranteed map 4. Volskaya is going to be next. We'll find out what they're running. It's bound to be some relatively similar compositions to what we've seen so far, so there's plenty more of that fantastic action on the other side of this quick break. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back.
Uprising Academy, they lay down the shatter, let the bodies hit the floor. Uprising Academy at 95%.
Right now with Hydra building up to this Bear Barrage so quickly.
Oh!
And asking!
Double kill in the back with the pulse bomb from the high ground. Aerial assault with that mine.
Impact se escucha debajo gritar campeón a Sky Foxes.
Holy cow.
And after 42 consecutive losses, the Shanghai Dragons get their first win.
8 teams enter this weekend.
Oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing?
We got a clip with minimal information. It's time to break it down. Speed, 25%. Go. Figure out what this man's SR is.
Keep fighting till it's for sure lost.
Winnable!
of the competitive grind and random teammates? Want to put your team to the test against opponents of similar SR? Ever been told to get good, but felt like you were never given the chance? Introducing our Get Good tournament, open to PC and console teams in NA and EU region. Our goal is to provide you with an environment that will push your team play and individual skills to new heights and an opportunity to make new friends along the way. Our divisions range from beginner to unlimited, and the tournament will start off with a 5 to 6 week group stage in Swiss format, ending in a 2-week-long playoff bracket. You can even be showcased live as we stream matches with talented casters every week on Twitch. The winner for each division is crowned champion and will get a fancy champion's role. Get Good signups will start on October 5th, with the tournament starting on the 23rd for PC and the 24th for console. And if you don't have a team yet, but would like to experience playing in a team, fear not. Solo player signups is a team building service offered by Elohel Esports in preparation for our Get Good tournament. Sign up on your own and you will be put into a team of 6. Solo player signups are open right now. Go to elohel.gg/getgood for more information and to sign up for the real 6v6 experience.
Oh, hey, didn't see you guys there. Welcome back to Elohel's coverage of Contenders Trials. We're currently 2 maps into this fantastic series. Delta Phoenix up against 200 MS. This has been a weird one, hasn't it, Jag?
Yeah, I think weird is a great word to use. I mean, we saw that Delta Phoenix can come out and show us why we thought that they'd be so good at the beginning of this trials season. And, you know, they're taking maps off of good teams, 200 MS seen as a favorite, and they're able to even it up on Junkertown. So not going to be the 3-0 steamroll that some might have predicted, friends. We're in for the long haul. We're going to see Numbani on map 4, but first, we're going to be going to a good old friend in Volskaya for map 3.
Yeah, and Volskaya is going to be a weird one, right? I think it offers up more of what we've seen. It's bound to be Rush. It's bound to be maybe a little bit of Sigma Roadhog mixed in, but honestly, kind of fully expecting these teams to be running the same thing, which begs the question, who's adapting better? We saw Delta Phoenix really clean up their game. They didn't have to adapt anything necessarily to 200 MS, but it feels like 200 MS may have to start adapting themselves. What kind of things do you think they can change to clean up their own play?
I think they gotta just be a little bit more aggressive when it comes to their alt usage. We saw that their DPS were holding on to alts for a very long time. Finale had that Death Blossom for so long when we were on Junkertown on that second attacking phase, and, you know, just wasn't able to use it a bit too late. Didn't get any value, and Boat right now doing so well at grinding those EMPs. So, you know, Phelan's gotta kind of get on that grind as well. Try to even it up. You don't have to play the mirror comp. I talked earlier that the mirror comp might be the best thing to play, but they were doing best for 200 MS when they were playing kind of what they were good at. We saw that Widow come out and it worked really well for them. Then they swapped off, and from there they got held out really hard.
Yeah, and well, there's some room for a Widowmaker here. Not exactly the best map for her. It might see an Ashe, but I mean, I'm just expecting rush compositions, with which Delta Phoenix have been crushing it so far. Granted, it's literally the only thing they've played, only changing up really the tank line, but you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, Jag.
Absolutely. Do not fix it, Door, because it's working, and that's what you need. I mean, Delta Phoenix could take the lead here on this map if they play their cards right. We're going to see the side swap for the first time. So Delta Phoenix now on the right. See 200 MS on your left. So we're going to see if they can do a good on offense here on Volskaya right now. Delta Phoenix trying to keep up that momentum, and I mean, once you kind of get the ball rolling, it can really roll all the way to the finish line. You know, all you need is a little bit of confidence to kind of get you there.
I mean, for me, this match, again, I'm looking at the DPS. I'm looking at Boat in particular. Fantastic Sombra so far. And those EMPs, those will get you far on Volskaya, won't they?
Oh, yeah, they will get you mileage. I mean, you use an EMP on a point, and that point is basically yours as long as you can get, you know, rid of that defensive ult and can have good follow-up. That's basically the point for the taking in your favor. We're going to see what looks like mirror comps come out, except Squid's actually, well, nope, just going to be a debate. Squid can swap back to them. I would have loved to see the offense just with that long-range heal ability, but we're going to stick with the Moira, so mirror on the wall.
Exactly what we've got going on right now. Lots of spam damage from either side. Nothing too committal. It's like a bad relationship.
In come 200 MS though. They finally got the position that they wanted. It's finally time to play a little bit of dive, and they're going for the high ground. Lots of pressure onto Muse, but he's gonna have a hard time actually holding his ground. Delta Phoenix have pushed him right on off, and that's gonna work out perfectly for them, because now they can drop around the side of the point, take control of the mini room, start forcing them back into Mega, and most notably work towards that coalescence. 75% for Squid. Just stay alive and get off the first coal. And Delta Phoenix has set themselves up to win this first fight beautifully, but no, Moopy goes down before Squid gets the coal. They might want to re-engage her, but no. With the second pick going down, they have to go right back to spawn.
Yeah, that hack onto Infernal basically stopped any chance of that push happening. Got hacked, got demeched immediately, but look at these ults that are already being built up. We're going to see Pete, Cole, EMP on both sides. Muse really winning the Winston battle against Moopy right now. Has 94 of their ult. Is going to have prime ult for this next fight. Moopy only halfway, so that might be a battle to look out for more in the future.
I mean, it's the EMP battle that I'm watching. Feelings, I don't think they even know he has it up right now. They're spy checking to their heart's content, but hasn't been found quite yet. He's looking for the Lucio, though. Needs to catch Outlier so that the sound barrier doesn't go off. Wow, very fortunate to get out without being spotted here. In fact, a lot of time being bought off the clock for him holding. I think that's actually a really smart job by Feelings to wait for just the right moment. Moves in, doesn't catch Liar. Great job staying away from the Lucio. It's going to keep the push for Delta Phoenix back and alive, using the Coalescence to bolster this push even more so. And self-destruct will take out the Reaper, the main source of damage for this team. Even though Feelings popped EMP, it just wasn't enough. Delta Phoenix's coordination ever since map 2 has been incredible, and it shows up yet again.
Yeah, Vigilante popped in the Cole a little bit too early. Squid able to follow up afterwards, and I think that was really the big difference maker. I mean, whoever Cole's last usually wins that fight. And Finale went in for the Death Blossom, but died in the bomb. Maybe a missed timing, and you know, that's kind of what happens when you're playing on a high ping. Those milliseconds can add up, and there it cost them greatly. Now, only one ult apiece on either side. Violetta's bomb versus Kage's Death Blossom. They need Violetta to stay in mech to counter it, to eat it, to not get hacked. Otherwise, this Death Blossom might be what they need to take this point and have a very good time bank.
Fortunately, though, it is still only one ultimate to deal with. What I'm worried about is Boat building up an EMP really quickly. He's done it before. Feelings is keeping even with him this time, right? It was a lot worse over on Junkertown, but here it seems much more even. Delta Phoenix finally going to pressure this point out, finally going to start taking it on up, forcing Sombra back away. If they can pick up the Sombra, it's so huge. Oh no, they know exactly where Feelings is. Health back keeping up for the time being, but no, that's a dead Sombra. Moopy goes down, traded out as well, though. Even if Boat gets up an EMP here, it's going to be a very, very difficult fight for Delta Phoenix to win without the help of their main tank. Already going to get themselves one tick, but 200 MS, they're patient. They're waiting for the re-engage.
Yeah, there's the second tick, and they're going to take out Muse, but there is the counter EMP. Will it be enough? Finale going to find his counterpart on the Reaper, and that might be 200 MS cleaning this up and holding this point just a little bit longer.
Yeah, that one EMP allowed Finale to go, and you could see him waiting right back around the corner. And once there's no defense matrix to stop him, those shotguns didn't just go ham.
Yeah, and you know, Feelings just playing patiently, as you said. Boat maybe playing a little bit impatiently. The EMP not as big, not going to get Finale, which I think was really something they were looking for there. And now we're going to see if Delta Phoenix can get it done. They do have some ultimates in the bank. Dobie has their ult on the side of 200 MS, Muse close, Finale close, so a lot of ults on the table for both teams.
Yeah, 200 MS pushing extremely aggressively with their Sombra. I love this push, but they need to win it now. They need to win it early. No! Vigilante's the one who goes down. Boat falls, though, before they can get EMP up and out of their way. Self-destruct on point now to buy them space. Finale will try and trade out onto the Winston. Moopy lucky to get away with his life, but the health bars are so low for Delta Phoenix right now, and 200 MS, they're sitting right by spawn. They can do this all day long. In fact, they will with Liar down. That has got to be it. There's just not enough sustain for Delta Phoenix. Even if they trade out kills, the spawn advantage is so much.
Yeah, they do have Squid's Coalescence, but they're probably not going to invest it. They know that this is a lost fight. Just need to try to get out. Hack not going to come out onto Boat, so they get out with their EMP. Again, the EMP battle, both of them have it online, so Vigilante also has their call online, so this is going to be very, very close. It's going to be who's able to hit more of their ult, who's able to time it a little bit better. We saw Finale able to use their Death Blossom basically just to keep them alive. Not going to be primal today, and I thought that was a great play, honestly.
This is quite literally an exact run back of the fight that won Delta Phoenix Point A. You've got everything you need. Just about avoiding the bomb, though. Early hack from 200 MS. More aggression. Exactly what you wanted to see from them, Jag. But a counter EMP is beautiful from Delta Phoenix. Caught everybody on the side of 200 MS, and a great follow-up from Squid's Coalescence. The only thing left in their pocket is going to be Violetta and the self-destruct, but hacked out. They may not even get the chance to use it.
Yeah, that hack isn't going to stop them. The beat isn't going to come out. Violetta going to fall just as it is used. And Vigilante going to be hacked as well, so no healing from them. There is the bomb coming out. Isn't going to not get anything on the side of Imperial. But here is Kage getting the Death Blossom. Can they clean it up here? They only need so little left. The bomb going to come up over the top from Violetta.
Yeah, you have to pray that catches at least 3 if you want any chance at this recontest, but no value to be had. There's almost certainly going to be Delta Phoenix taking it, most notably before the overtime began ticking.
Yep, and now we're going to see just under a minute, 56 seconds left. Boat throwing that EMP on top of that cake. Little nice icing. Mew's going to be dying, but didn't have much of a chance there. Not able to sell out as long as they probably hoped, but they killed about 3.5 minutes on their defense, so definitely not bad from 200 MS.
No, not at all. And I think it's a perfectly fine defense considering how Point A went. Point A was very, very strong for Delta Phoenix, and 200 MS, you could see it at the end there. They were getting a lot more aggressive. That was exactly what you wanted, right? The aggressive EMP, the aggressive sound barrier. If we could work on the target focus during those fights and make those quick, aggressive pushes count, then we're looking at a very formidable team.
Yeah, I think they've really gotten their stuff together, and honestly, it looks like Delta Phoenix has all the momentum. If they can get a really good hold on Point A, they've got a really good chance of winning this map. You really need to keep it slow, make sure that you're not picked off early. It comes down to the Sombra play. I mean, we saw that sometimes Sombras, they go a little bit too far, they're called out, they don't have their translocator, and then they're just a sitting duck. So Boat, again, has to keep showing up on this Sombra, and they have been doing so well since Junkertown.
All about the DPS, and that's all it's been all day. But look at what 200 MS are doing. They've locked Ryan Diva. They want to play a little bit of Brawl. Jag, how do you think this works?
Depends. It really depends. It looks like they aren't going to do that Muse and a swap on to that Winston. I would have said
Why
that,
do they do it?
Yeah,
Every time, Jag. Every time.
It's the
they
Casper
did it.
curse. They just love to get us. They're going to watch this back and say, ha, got him. But
I think we're the real losers here. I don't think either of these teams are going to lose the match. It's just us. They're just playing to mess with us.
I don't know. I feel like a winner because these matches have been great so far, but we're going to see Boat started off with a little bit of poke in the back.
All right, now a good position for Delta Phoenix. 200 MS going to wrap their way all the way up and around. High ground's not too much of an issue because there's not an Ash or anything to take it away from. But Delta Phoenix will have to make the appropriate rotation. It seems like they haven't had too much trouble doing exactly that. Just playing right beneath the high ground and giving 200 MS real trouble dropping to the point. Finally at the point where the fight really needs to start happening though, and the point ticks up. Infernal and Mubi both pushing out, Boat at half HP, but the real low tank is Muse, barely being kept up by his supports. In fact, just a sliver of health to his name. How is this man still alive? Infernal's gonna be demaxed in the meantime. Loopy's got a primal raise that could clutch the fight out, knock somebody off the edge and give him a serious advantage, but neither team can seem to find a foothold.
Vigilante gonna find Liar, and even though the primal was committed by Moopy, it might not be enough. Phelan has that EMP now. The question is, will they save it for later? They will try to commit it. It looks like they're gonna hold on to it for now, but there it is.
It caught 5, but remember, they're all in Meg Room, so they're relatively safe. 200 MS, so great collapse on in there. Take out the DPS, and now there's no real threat. They'll celebrate with a little bit of Point A as well as having a sound barrier to go into Point B.
Yeah, Infernal probably gonna get segregated out just a little bit. Gonna jump off the edge very shortly, I believe, to try to reset themselves. They will have a pretty fast spawn time, but the question is right now, will 200 MS be able to capitalize? Boat has that EMP ready to go, and I'm sure they're looking to use it.
You have to use it, right? You're already down one play. Oh no. Hack, that is a brutal couple seconds that they're going to be missing that. They wish they could have used it to engage aggressively. EMP, 4 people once. Oh god, Kage. Oh, it's a massacre. He's got everybody with the Death Blossom, and that is an easy cleanup for the Reaper.
Yeah, I mean, the EMP in a small room will always work because you know they're all there. I was a little bit worried that Translocator might not have been thrown far enough, but in the end, Kage there for the cleanup crew. And right now, they do have a strong foothold on this. It looks like Delta Phoenix are trying to establish themselves on this defense. They will have the beat, the Colt, and the bomb for this next fight. But look at what's on the side right now of 200 MS. We saw them have this before, though. When they had ultimates, they had the bigger ult bank, and they just played a little bit too passively, weren't able to get it done. Will they learn from that mistake now?
Yeah, I think this is going to be the best fight that 200 MS realistically get heading into the rest of this match. The self-destruct will just peel away. It's a couple of seconds, but that's time that Delta Phoenix are going to use to back off, look for another push with an aggressive coalescence from Squid. They've got one on Muse, and honestly, that is such a huge hit to 200 MS and everything that they would have wanted to do. They'll try a re-engage of their own, but without the spearhead to it, it's really going to be lacking some power.
Yeah, it looks like Muse might get back in the nick of time just yet. I think they're going to jump in any second now, so let's see if they can get there. But there is the Death Blossom finale, but once again, only finding one and going to be taken down by Squid.
Ooh, that's painful. Getting Moira to death out of a Death Blossom. That's going to give Delta Phoenix also another great way into this fight. Without the Reaper, serious lack of damage for 200 MS. Now an EMP on top of it. That's just going to be things buttoned nicely up. Delta Phoenix should be able to follow up. Yep. Ruby and Infernal doing exactly so. The damage just a little bit slower than the rest of their team.
Yeah, and Felons had their own EMP, so again, just weren't fast enough to pull the trigger on that. Maybe the call was just to try to get ults out, you know, as many as they could from Delta Phoenix, and if that's the case, well done, because they got a lot out there. But again, they're just playing a bit passive. They got 3 minutes, a little bit more than 3 minutes right now. They have the EMP online, but Liar has the beat. So again, can they hit the Lucio? Can they get it done here? If they don't hit the Lucio, it's going to be very hard for them to push on it.
They haven't managed to catch the Liar yet with one of these EMPs. Felons, I think, did it one time over on the first map on Lijiang. Other than that, Liar has gotten the best of him in pretty much every single one of these situations. It has to be improvement from Felons. EMP's out. It didn't catch Liar. He's got the beat. It's perfect for Delta Phoenix. Re-engage. Felons is down. Vigilante will use a Cold, but it's just desperation. Muse is going to pop a Death Blossom as well. Kage, pardon me, catches one out with it, but with the spawn advantage, that is plenty enough for 200 MS. Pardon me, for Delta Phoenix to hold on. Liar has saved them again.
Yeah, Liar has been huge at these beats, just being able to find position. And it looked like Felons knew where Lucio was, where Liar was, and I think Muse might have jumped all the way in the back to try to, you know, disposition them, but it didn't work out in the end, and Bo was able to get Felons very early in that fight. Now the Ryan is going to come out from Muse. Very interesting. They're just going to try to walk it all the way down to point.
Well, you know what they say, if it is broke, fix it. I think the Reinhardt might be the right spot. It's appropriate for this one, and whether it pays off is still yet to be seen. Waiting patiently for the rest of his team. Seems a little annoyed there at the fact that they weren't following him, but now it's health even lower because he dropped to the low ground into the welcoming arms of a Coalescence immediately. He didn't even get to swing his hammer one time on the Reinhardt, and he's already back in spawn. Easily one fight for Delta Phoenix off an aggressive push with the Cold.
Yeah, it's not hammer time just yet. Now Kage getting really deep, but gonna just back out. And now, look at the time bank. Only 1:40, now less than just that. And Boat again with the EMP Felons does not have another one, so this should be a pretty easy fight for Delta Phoenix unless something goes terribly wrong for them. DLB does have the beat online, so if they can hide, they might have a way of winning this. Now Felons gonna have an EMP of their own, and we've noticed that the EMP that's usually coming in second is the one that wins the fight.
EMP from Boat. I mean, if it connects onto Felons, there's no chance of a counter EMP, and that's a big thing, right? You want to be able to catch the zombie. You want to catch Lucio. Dobie so low on this. Lucio, he goes down with sound barrier in tow! There's only a minute left on the clock. If they're going to win the push, they have to win it now. If they're not, they need to get out of dodge right now. Boat dropped an EMP easily. Felons is still fighting for this. Toby has to get back, has to get in with the sound barrier just in time. Shatter. They will use a Coalescence to extend the fight. Muse's Shatter is just large enough in order to give them the time that they need. That may just be enough to take the point over in its entirety. Otherwise, Delta Phoenix, they have some pretty good stacking potential. If they can get that clock below overtime, it is bad news bears.
They have the Cold that's going to be used now from Squid, but on the other side, here is the Death Blossom, but it's going to be Ian Finale going to fall, and the beat is too late from Dobie.
Dobie not up to save him. Delta Phoenix nearing up on a Death Blossom of their own. And remember, there is not much defense measures to block this one. Just a shield. Kage completely destroys Muse and his shield. Gets him in 19 seconds left and 200 MS. They committed to a fight that they couldn't totally do, and they're biting the dust for it right now. Delta Phoenix just has so many better spawns. As long as the target focus is at least okay, they should be able to pull this one off and set themselves up to match point.
Yeah, we are going to see the contest come in from Violetta, but here is the Reaper going to be teleporting in. The rest of the team is
Wait a minute.
There's the EMP. That might be it.
That's 5 members back. That's 5 for 200 MS. How did they group up so quickly? They've got to re-engage. Muse is all the way in the front line. He's damage boost. He's got a Coalescence behind him. All they have to do is just not die to this bomb, and they should be fine. 2 frags in. Another EMP out of Boat. How many can this man get?
Point.
They got it.
Oh, the Phoenix got off the point. No, two C9s. Oh no! Oh, that fight could have gone in so many different directions. The EMP coming out from boat. I thought that might have swung it back in Delta Phoenix's favor, but they just don't touch. It might be a game about getting kills, but you gotta play the objective at the end of the day. And now we're going to extra rounds.
You know, Jag, after casting so much Chinese contenders, it just doesn't surprise me anymore.
It's like a war story for you, you know, like the PTSD doesn't even phase you anymore.
I've built up a tolerance to Cloud9s, and it doesn't make them feel any better. It just helps you ignore them a little bit and forget them quicker. Now, though, at least we get to see an overtime, right? Only a minute more for Delta Phoenix, so a very winnable game for 200 MS, who will, I believe, get the first start.
Yep, they did not have any time in their time bank, but because they killed enough time on their defense, 56 seconds, those 4 seconds, now they really added up, because if Delta Phoenix had capped with a minute left, there would be no attack for 200 MS. The best they would be able to do is draw on a defense only, but now they do have a chance to win this map, take the lead again in this series, and honestly, you know, we had expectations of what this might turn out to be, and it's gone completely the other way. This has been a great match so far, and I'm super excited to see what 200 MS can do on their second attack.
Now, how do they choose to do this? They're going for the whole chalupa, so to speak, right? Feelings is in on the Sombra. The odds you get the CMP up in one fight, pretty slim. They're playing all the way for second point right now. So they've got to win this fight the old-fashioned way, just a couple of bullets and a whole lot of elbow grease to get through Delta Phoenix and what they've set up for their defense. They've got a Sombra of their own to shut this push down. It's the same exact thing we saw from them on the previous one. Same exact positioning from pretty much every single player, save for Boat, who is in a better position now, grouped up with the rest of the team. Nobody is sitting out. Nobody's in a bad, pickable position. 200 MS are dropping down, facing a full 66 brunt of Delta Phoenix in the Mega Room. They're going off. They're trying to catch somebody off on the side. It's Boat they've caught out. That's a huge one. That's going to delay the EMP so much. Delta Phoenix need to trade this one out. They have to stop this push here and now. If it ends up going to be, 200 MS are going to have such a huge advantage in EMP percentage.
Yeah, Finale is just doing a little bit of cleanup work, and it looks like this is going to fall. They only have one on the point, so it is getting captured very, very slowly. I don't think Delta Phoenix is going to try to contest this. I think they're just going to set up for a second point defense. Now, there's not going to be a lot of time on the clock. Dobie has the beat before Vigilante has the Cole. Now they both have ult, and the ult bank advantage, like you said, is great. But Liar, not too far behind, has a beat of their own. That might be a saving grace for Delta Phoenix. This is last fight territory for both teams.
But they're going to go quick. 200 MS have been playing aggressive ever since the start of this map. They're not giving them any time to get the sound barrier. Vigilante takes out Boat. No chance of an EMP anytime soon. Feelings. He's got it. He's got it locked, and he's ready to send it rolling. In fact, he doesn't even have to use it. The picks are all there. The damage, the focus from 200 MS. They've come alive in the overtime right now. Even with the EMP, they should be bound to clutch this out. Remember though, Boat is still around. There is still an EMP and a Death Blossom loading up, but Finale is the one who has the final word, ending it with 3 members down. It's going to be a full cap for 200 MS with just a minute on the clock to start.
A minute and a dream is all 200 MS had, and it gets them 4 points. Wow, 2 full caps. That is great by them. You know, they've really come back alive. Junkertown, they struggled, but it looks like the Overwatch factor is kicking in when teams realize, hey, we need to play our best. We need to do this now. Because remember, if they lose this match, their likelihood of getting into Contenders proper goes down significantly. They really need to win this match, then go into a tiebreaker match, basically against Uprising Academy. Both of them would be 3-1 in that scenario. Delta Phoenix, they're playing for pride. Obviously, they do want to get that win on the board, but they're trying to show people, hey, you know, maybe not this time for Contenders Trials. Maybe we're not going to make Contenders, but we are going to go out with a bang. And, you know, they've been putting up a great fight. They do have more time in the bank, so it is possible they get the full cap, and then they have time for a third round of attack, depending on how well they do.
You have to assume that there's a little bit of region rivalry there as well, right? Delta Phoenix, they may be out here, but they want to be the ones to kick the Korean team out of their region, right? They want to be the ones to really assert that NA, you know, don't mess around. You can't come here and just have an easy time, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. There definitely has to be some pride, like, hey, you know, we want to show that our region is good, that our region can show up and beat these amazing players that we're seeing from 200 MS. Now, it's time to put up or shut up from Delta Phoenix. It's their time to shine. Can they get this attack going? They do have more time than time makes, so they can get 1 or 2 fights, realistically, without having to panic. as we've seen them kind of do sometimes when things come to shove. But here they are right now with the engagement. That's a first pick.
Oh! No chance of any sound barrier anytime soon. Huge like defense. Like I'm not even focused on this point right now. You're worried about what ultimates do they have going into the second, assuming they even win this, and they will without using much of anything. Feelings though still ahead on the EMP charge, relatively even in that regard, but Liar's just so far ahead heading into point B, and we're certainly getting there, Jag.
We are certainly getting there indeed, Dor. But look at the ult percentage. I mean, Dobie obviously not doing very hot, died first, but Vigilante at 80%, actually a lot higher than Spitter. Not a lot, but, you know, higher. So probably gonna get that ult first. Hogging Finale very close. I mean, everything is pretty close except for Loopy has a little bit more of an advantage on you, so not gonna see the roll we probably saw from 200 MS on their second attack.
Here's the big thing though, Delta Phoenix, they can afford 2 pushes here if they're quick with it. They can really go for this, but they've already got one nice little DMEC. It may not be a full pick, but it's nice little something for their efforts. Both nearly on this EMP. He's got to charge up. Feelings was lying in wait. Feelings is waiting for a counter EMP of his own. Same exact time, same place. Feelings didn't go off. Delta Phoenix both caught his mid-cast, shut everybody down. That might be what they need. The time bank below a minute, but it may not matter here. It's 200 MS. They're trying their damage, but they're coming with next to nothing. Finale as a Death Blossom. Kage's even closer though, even a self-destruct. It's almost certain that Delta Phoenix has to take this one in the same exact fashion. Oh my god, Feelings! On the Doomfist, he's got to trade. There's next to no way. How are 200 MS going to do this? They're coming in, the regroup's there. The Delta Blossom has to be big. There's no way other than that for them to really get this one back, but he can't touch in time. A minute 34, we're going to round 3. Jag.
Did someone say 6 CP? Because that's what we're going to now. And, you know, with the changes that Blizzard made to this mode, you don't see this as often anymore, but here we are. And I think that just shows us that both these teams, they came here to play. They want to win this map. You know, it's all on the line, it feels like, almost. You know, Delta Phoenix maybe doesn't have as much to play for, but their pride, and that's enough sometimes. That's what they really need right now. And again, they have a bigger time bank, but now only 34 seconds. Before they had about a minute more, and we're just gonna keep going until someone eventually wins this or draws. It's still possible. We could see a draw.
We may die of old age first.
Yeah, we could die of old age. We could live our entire lives, you know, fall in love, get married, eventually get.
It's just you, me, and the producer. It's gonna have to be a weird setup if we end up doing that. We gotta cast the whole time.
We'll find
we gotta go on rotation, so yeah, our throats don't get sore or anything. Like it's a tough life, but one we'll give for this match because it's a good one so far. And you're absolutely correct. 200 MS to do that twice would be incredible, but they have neared the time bank.
Yeah, the time bank a little bit shorter now, so. Question is, they've done the rotation twice in a row. So right now, will they be able to do it? But if you are seeing this and you're loving this, check out the Trial of Champions. It's going to be an event that's going to be giving up 2 opportunities to make it into Trials. $3,000 prize pool. Very cool stuff. Sign up at elohell.gg/TOC, but that's in a little bit later in October. This is now and right now. 200 MS trying to get another cap on this first point.
They are taking their sweet time outside this door, but it's for good reason. They've got the pick on the Kage, both charging up an EMP, trading back onto Muse. A big pick here for Delta Phoenix on what may be the only push we see out of 200 MS left in this map. Regrouping in the mini room now, not giving up any room this time. Delta Phoenix are far less patient with their hold, not wanting to back off into mega room. They've lost every other time they've done that, and appropriately so. Holding on. Feelings 85% to the EMP, 95 boat, only 60. They could use it to win this point, but then they have no chance of getting second. He has to pop it, catches 4. The only person not there is going to be Boat. Moopy goes down for it, and now Delta Phoenix has to frag out, maybe just stagger out the first point to try and get some more time off that bank, but it's barely going to matter. Is now 200 MS. They're only coming into second point with a sound barrier, while Boat, he's got EMP loaded.
Also have the Primal online. You know, I think Kage maybe a little bit of a misplay swapping onto the Tracer. Probably going to see them go back to Reaper in just a second. They had a bit of time to get back, honestly. But here is the cap finally coming out. Got a little bit delayed for a second. Like you said, that beat from Dobie, it has to hit. It has to not be hacked out by both EMP.
It's so much harder on the attack to avoid it, though. There's no hallways to hide in. You're pushing forward with your team. You're speed boosting them in there. This is so difficult for the attacking Lucio right now, but he's literally their only way, realistically, into this fight right now. He's hiding all the way in the back, but Delta Phoenix, they're going to hold all their cards close to the chest. They're waiting till the last possible second, and in the meantime, Dobie's not helping his team at all. He has done nothing for them in this fight. Finally popping the EMP, but Lyra comes in. This sound barrier, it's so late, Jag.
Yeah, I think Dobie just kind of got juggled by the Primal Rage, wasn't able to use the beat at all. So Dobie and Violetta are gonna die without using their ults. Feeling so close to another EMP, but at the end of the day, Boat coming through once again. So aren't gonna get the full cap, but are gonna get first point, which puts them in position to either win or draw.
Man, I'd hate to be in Dobie's position there, but I have to hand it over to how Boat played it. Right? They called that out. They said, we are just going to hold on to this EMP and hang it over your head for the entire fight, so you play the whole thing a man down. What a disgustingly good heads-up play. To do that this late into a match? Come on, man. The mental fortitude from Delta Phoenix right now is out of this world.
Yeah, you got to imagine the comms right now for Delta Phoenix are on fire. I mean, Moopy was the one who ended up making that play in the end, basically getting rid of Dobie, and that just comes with coordination. You know, we talked about how they had a lot of misplays on that first map on Lijiang, but that was 2 maps ago now. We're on the 3rd map. They've come alive. They're doing great, and, you know, they're in position now to put themselves up in this series 2-1. I don't think they've had a lead at all throughout Contenders Trial so far. They've only won 1 map against Uprising Academy. They might have won 1 more. That's the match that I have seen. So, you know, going up would be huge. And going into Nambani, it could be anyone's game at that point.
And you know it's tense when everyone's standing still before the gates open. They're talking about something very, very important. And that's stopping Delta Phoenix from overcapping them on point B. Same compositions, same time, same place. Squid on the Ana, probably not a permanent change. Again, similar to what they did before. Back onto the Moira. Back onto All Reliable for Delta Phoenix. Can they do it to put themselves up to match point?
It comes down to whoever gets the first pick. Every time the first pick has happened, that's been the person who's won the fight. We're going to see Moopy engage very aggressively on to the high ground. You're going to be pushed off, though, right now. Just a lot of poke damage, no one falling just yet.
Delta Phoenix know they have the time-making advantage. They've used every single one of these extra 30 seconds perfectly right now. Pushing up to the point, extremely safe. Moopy has to jump up, though, because the health bar is getting low. They lost a lot of space by doing that and eyeball that EMP fight yet again. 60% to 70%. Felin's currently in the lead, and if that comes online, that could shut this entire push and the map down for Delta Phoenix. They get aggressive with Moopy on point. The first coalescence up is going to be Squids. Vigilante still falling behind. If they could take out the main support here, they would guarantee themselves a first point, maybe even a second with an EMP from Boat. Squid takes down Vigilante. That's it. We're going all the way to point B. 6 CP. You're exactly correct, Jag.
Yeah, and we're going to see Muse hacked out, but it's not going to matter. That Winston's going to swing away. He's going to get the picks. They didn't use the E. They didn't have
Hold up.
Yeah, this might be winnable. Muse is going
Muse
to
has
take
been
out
alive
Inferno.
forever.
Yeah, this might actually be winnable. There is...
Oh, no!
Death Blossom and Liar down. Kage down. Is this winnable? Will Boat get back in time?
What a recontest from 200 MS. One at a time. I mean, Muse was fighting for his life there on point, but nobody was targeting him. Primal Rage will at least get him on point. They've got an EMP to boot, but Felins, you know he's holding on to it. This EMP for Boat has to catch as many, waiting for the last possible second in overtime. Catches every single tank on the side of 200 MS, but such low HP on his own. It's going to be a sound barrier. Delta Phoenix, they're going for staggers as opposed to pushing in as a group right now, and that's definitely biting them in the butt. This sound barrier is going to keep them alive for a little bit, but it's only trades, and that's not working out when 200 MS are target focusing as well as they are. Self-destruct to finish things off. Overtime down, and my God, 200 MS had to fight for, but they got what they wanted.
Yeah, in the end, that one cap was all they needed. So, you know, we talked about was using the EMP on that first point, on their third attack worth it? Yes, it was. In the end, all they needed was that cap because they won the map. Delta Phoenix, I really thought they had that in the bag. It looks like keeping Muse alive. Just, they didn't kill him. And then in the end, you know, we saw the regroup come out from 200 MS. And from there, just the, you know, slipping from the jaws of victory a little bit from Delta Phoenix. But we are going to take another short break before we get back at you for map 4, which is going to be Nambani.
So you queue up for Overwatch Ranked, only to be greeted by this, which then leads to this, and oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing? The solution? Elo Hell pickup games.
Hey, you know what? Just
Oh my god, it's huge! Oh! Kill!
Let's go.
Open to players of all ranks and most platforms, Pugs give you the chance to experience competitive Overwatch as it was meant to be played. Competitively.
I need help.
I'm with you.
Shoot.
No way, dude.
Go. Let's go. Nice. Good call.
Players set their icons to indicate the role they want to play, then two captains pick their teammates and draft the most competitive teams they can. You can also take part in our pioneering learning event, Coached Pugs. To take part, join the Elo Hell Pickup Games Discord, and be sure to read the Pug Guide and FAQ. Good luck, have fun, and we'll see you in-game.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This series gets ever longer, but ever better. So just gift that just keeps on giving and giving and giving and giving and 2CP and 2CP and giving and giving.
It's still going.
But
It just never
I think we're winning. It's like Christmas night, Christmas 10 p.m. EST. It's a great series though, to say the very least. Like I'm not complaining at all. DP and 200 MS have been doing ridiculously well so far over the course of this series. And you know what? Delta Phoenix, they look so good. So far, they couldn't scratch away that last match. 200 MS has had enough fight in them. Now we're going on to we're going on to another map. It's going to be Noom Bonnie. This might shake things up a little bit, Jag.
Well, honestly, this could be for the course. It could shake things up. I wanted to redact something I said earlier. I wasn't sure about the other matches that we've seen from this team, Delta Phoenix. And in fact, they have gone 3-1 in every match so far. So this is kind of part of the course. Will they be able to keep that going, or will they be able to force a map 5? Nabani, such an interesting map, known for its ability to dive people on. We've seen some strategies, though, that kind of switch that up. As you know, dive heroes, though, play a little bit more brawly. So let's see if we'll be staying to those strats that we've seen, a lot of that Reaper Sombra, or if we're going to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, the 1-3 curse is something that haunts a lot of teams for whatever reason. And honestly, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't. And honestly, I'm curious how much gas each of these guys has left in. Like 200 MS, I have no clue what time of day it is in Korea, but I'm pretty sure it's not a good one. Delta Phoenix in their own right have given all of their effort into this one matchup. You gotta have everything more to give, though. And I think nobody's actually a pretty good place for them to do it, right? They've been looking good on the dive. They've been looking good on the Sombra Reaper. But on the other half of the board, so have 200 MS. This is so hard to predict. So hard to tell where it's going to go, Jag.
Yeah, I mean, it is 10:30 in the morning right now for 200 MS. So they've been up a little while, a little coffee, a little bit of Overwatch to really start your morning. And I agree. I feel like this really could go either way. We saw Boat really take control of that second map of Junkertown, but it was a back and forth battle on Volskaya, more so than we've seen so far. It seems like the first two maps, 200 MS really took control of Lijiang. As I already said, Junkertown really going the way of Delta Phoenix. Now, where's this fourth map going to go? Could be last map. We could be going to a tiebreaker, which would be Nepal. So we're going to see if we're going to extend the series any longer. I don't know if it can be any longer, though, than that 6 CP map we saw for Volskaya.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've played about 7 maps of Overwatch time-wise, but we're here on number 4. It hasn't been the quickest series, but honestly, like, just keep it coming, man. It is fantastic. At this point, I'm kind of questioning, like, what improvements can these teams actually make? They've both made massive strides in general between the two of them. It feels like they've both improved vastly, whether it's been Felin's EMPs, whether it's been Liar's sound barriers. Everything is just turned on for these guys. Now it's going to be 200 MS with the first push. Lots of damage coming in. They finally got the ground they need to work with, but Finale doesn't have any more of the Wraith form, so he's not going to be able to get out of the fight. He can't play nearly as aggressive as he wants to, but they've gained the space anyways. They've got control of the high ground. Now Delta Phoenix are going to have to fight from a bad position.
Yeah, the hacks were coming out onto both Divas, but in the end, it was Delta Phoenix who had to back off. Now they're going to try to re-engage, but they've had to play in that corner, but getting Dobby, that's a great way to start your re-engage.
Oh, but you trade for Kage, and that's so not worth. That's the main DPS source for Delta Phoenix, and he's not going to be back for a good while, as well as having the first Coalescence online from Vigilante. They're bound to get a couple of ticks here off of it. It's all about the re-engage, though, for Delta Phoenix. Moving in with the Coalescence of their own, they've got a Stun Barrier to try and hold things 50% ahead of Dobby, mind you, because of the pick earlier. And the re-engage from 200 MS is pretty sloppy here. Felin's a separate way, Finale's separated away. The damage isn't really all on the same targets, and an EMP onto 5 members, that's sure to end it for Delta Phoenix, unless, no, they haven't got a single pick from this. Only Violetta out of that, but Felin's goes down to a bomb. This is just a lot of time off the clock now for 200 MS.
But the good news is if you're... Actually, no. Felix did use the EMP. Oh my, I did not see that. I think they used it when the bomb was going through, and that's a huge misplay. I was going to say that Liar used the beat, so you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about chasing that Lucio out. But Felin's using that. Oh, that's something they're going to want back. They do have a beat of their own. They almost have the bomb. They have the Reaper ult, but will it be enough right now? Kage gonna have a Reaper ult of their own. Mubi also has their ult. So some ults on both sides, but right now I think that 200 MS does have the advantage.
Yeah, it's all about that sound barrier. They're going to have another coalition to play aggressively. Squid, if they can get theirs charged up pretty quickly here, you're looking at a good opportunity for them. Early sound barrier from Dobie. 200 MS pushing in aggressively. They haven't managed to finish a fight off yet with this kind of a start, and they're not going to do it again this time. All they get is a DMAC for their troubles. Take out the Diva at very least, but Boat's got another EMP already. How is he doing this? Boat has been so consistent ever since Junkertown. He has not stopped charging up EMPs in one fight.
Yeah, I thought that Moopy was going to get a huge play there, but Finale able to use that shadow set to get back onto the ledge, had the Death Blossom, but again, like Junkertown, just not using it quick enough. They're holding onto it for so long. Now, kind of have the set play. You use the EMP, and then you follow up. Vigilante didn't use their call either. Liar, though, already back to that sound barrier, so close to having it, so by the time they use that EMP, they might be saved anyway.
There's not too many ways into this fight, right? The engagement is the tricky part for 200 MS. It always has been, even when they push with a sound barrier with an EMP. It's always been the follow-up that's the trouble. Staggering out the fights are pretty good. Coming back into the fights, they're pretty good. But starting off now, they're going to use a coalescence. They're going to try and push off it. But Inferno's already been DMAXed. It's the same advantage they had in the last fight. But they got to capitalize. Liar's got a sound barrier, and he's waiting for the last possible second to use it. In goes Kage, immediately popping a Death Blossom out of Finale, who takes him down. Another one onto the Lucio, and that's going to be it. Finally, 200 MS take it. 30 seconds in the bank. It wasn't pretty, but it got him there.
Yeah, only 3 minutes on the clock, so not a great time bank for the second point. But like you said, I mean, Liar was just kind of hiding. And then it's 6v5, right? They don't use the EMP. It's just the worry about the EMP really keeps them at bay. Now, Boat gonna fall there. A late stagger, so not a great play for them. They do have the EMP, and they will be able to get back into this a little quickly. Only one right now on the cart for 200 MS, so not getting as much movement as they could be.
Wow, this long-range DPS duel is quite riveting.
Oh yeah, the Reapers are really going at each other with the shotguns. Major damage.
This is like 2% ultimate charge at most from each of them, but you know what? You get what you can. It's all about the little differences when you're working your way up to contenders. And 200 MS have a big difference. That's with this EMP positioning. Look at Feelings. He's been heard out. They know exactly where he is. And so Bo uses his aggressively. It catches the opposing Tomber, but not the Lucio. Dobie's finally able to counter one of these EMPs, and perfectly timed as well. Feelings still goes down, but 200 MS mates are able to save themselves afterwards. Still Liar, though, has a sound barrier. Still distinct advantage for Delta Phoenix, but no real frags coming out from them in the past couple seconds.
It looks like there isn't a be a DMAC, and that might be Infernal going over the side, but it looks like they're able to stay on the map just barely, using to get out of that primal. Here is Finale, though, and that might be it. That might be what they need to finally get across this speed bump that is point 2.
And that's going to help them out in the time bank area a ton as well, Jag.
Yeah, I mean, they only had 3 minutes to start with, and they're going to finish with a little bit less than that, which is really good for point 2. So they're going to have, I think, about 2.5 minutes to go. Actually, 3 minutes, so pretty good for them. A pretty quick point 2. They will have about the same amount of time they had after the cap point 1. They still have that EMP. It still has not been used.
Liar still has the sound barrier on the other side. Coincidence?
It's basically a battle of the minds, right? It's a lot of mental play, and you know what's not mental play? A Ryan Hammer in your face. Mew is gonna swap.
And you know what? I like this. It worked on Volskaya. It's bound to work here. Feeling comfortable. It's got Kage out of the fight. So much damage, but remember, all of that ultimate charge is going right over to a sports EMP from Delta Phoenix, and Feelings still holding his over Liar's head, and it's working.
Yeah, Moopy dived so deep and then was basically left for dead. We're going to see Liar get Feelings, but he's going to pay immediately after. So there's going to be a lot of cart progress that 200 MS is going to get. I don't know if it's going to be enough. I believe there should be time for re-engage. Liar, again, still has that beat. Kage has their Death Blossom. So it's, again, can Feelings hit it? Still holding on to it, have yet to use it.
I mean, you have to. At some point here, please, for Pete's sake, just drop the beat. Feelings has an EMP loaded up for afterwards, and it's just as risky. Like, you understand why you have to hold it, but man, it hurts so much to see. Trading Death Blossoms 1-for-1 Finale, and Kage neither are able to get the better of one another, but that cart is progressing towards the end of the map. Infernal had a self-destruct until he went down, which would have been a great ultimate to try and clear off that cart. Muse with a big fire strike does a ton of damage, gets the cart there. 127 left on the clock after such a shaky A as well. What a way to close out the map.
It really looks like Delta Phoenix was going to hold A for a little bit, but in the end, we saw 200 MS able to cap it, and from there, I wouldn't say it was a steamroll. It took a little bit of time to get going, especially on point B, but once they got it going, it went. I mean, really, it looked a little touch and go there for a second, but point 3, they just ran through that. And a minute 30 in their timing. They started with 3 minutes on attack after capping the first point. That is pretty incredible.
Well, what would be pretty incredible as well would be Delta Phoenix matching that. Numbani is not a walk in the park. Finishing this map is far from easy. Even the neutral game on point A. I think the later this map goes, the worse it is for Delta Phoenix, which is pretty bad overall, right? When we've seen them play dive, it feels like Delta Phoenix has gotten the upper hand. They've always been able to outplay on the Winston Diva mirror, which is what they're going to be playing on point A. But when you go later, when Muse has the opportunity to swap to Reinhardt and has a spawn advantage, how do you get past there? That's going to be so difficult for Delta Phoenix.
Yeah, I think the Ryan play worked out perfectly. They just used them as a battering ram. They just kind of ran through them. And again, Moopy, I think, misplayed that a little bit, going a bit too deep in the back, trying to get Dobie out. In the end, Dobie was the one who got away with the last laugh, was able to find that pick. But, you know, we've seen that usually when Delta Phoenix can get that first pick themselves, they do a great job. We're going to see them run the Ana, look for the sleep, and there it is. Squid wasn't out there when they got Phelan's caught out a little bit, but in the end, not going to matter. Now we go with the 6v6.
Yeah, no surprises here. Same composition. These guys have been running it all night, and it's worked for both of them at different times. Already, Delta Phoenix, aggressive position on the point, and it's working for him. It's forced 200 MS off of the high ground, immediately hacked. Finelli has to back off, and they'll push out aggressively, waiting for the defense matrix to come all the way up. That's going to be what gets them in, but they're going all the way around, Jag.
They almost got a tick there, but they didn't in the end. It was so close, and that might be a huge difference maker down the line. Right now, no point percentage for them, but they are going to take the opposing high ground.
Yeah, this isn't that great. It's a good way to reposition on the point. It's a good way to spread yourselves back out, which they needed. But it hasn't gained them a real advantage positionally now. And the first Reba to go down is going to be Kage. No teeth to this fight now. Delta Phoenix have next to nothing to actually deal the damage that they need to take over this point. Thus, 200 MS are just going to push them right back into this room.
Yeah, Inferno is able to find one pick on the finale, but it's not going to matter. They're going to be back by the time that Delta Phoenix gets a full regroup. And Feelings, look at that. They have the EV. Inferno going to be really staggered out here, actually. They do have the mech back, but I think they just want to be killed. And there it is. Muse finally putting them out of their misery. So that's a lot of time off the clock. A really good play from 200 MS. The ult bank a little bit in their favor right now, too.
Yeah, it's going to be at least 210 until we see a serious push, which already half the time bank taken away. Felins has the EMP. Boat's nowhere near. That was far from a clean fight for Delta Phoenix. There's a chance they get this one through, but it's pretty slim as all the key ultimates are up for 200 MS. The same exact approach from Delta Phoenix that we saw last time, though. Instant point pressure, forcing the dropout, running straight into the EMP. They're going to eat it when they can. Counter EMP from Boat is far better, though. And honestly, I'm liking their odds in this one. In comes Kage, forcing back the tanks, forcing back Violetta. And now there's a Winston Primal, could push him off the edge of the map. So much danger for 200 MS. 2.5 points. No C9 from them. They recognize that's going to be happening in finale. He's looking for the Blossom. Defense Matrix still up for Violetta. Catches 2 with the bomb. Liar movie. That's it. Finale has to just hold on to this Death Blossom. There's no way they actually pull it off. Is there?
It looks like they're going to fall off this hold. It looked so touch and go there for a second. They are able to get 2 ticks on the side of Delta Phoenix, so their point capture condition much easier for them, 91.6%, but in the end, just not able to get it done. We're probably going to see dueling Death Blossoms come out here. Kage and Finale both have them. Delta Phoenix, they need to win one of these next 2 fights. They do have a little bit of time still left. They have a minute, so they can regroup, but it's getting dire.
This is 2 fights at best. There are no key ultimates up for 200 MS. You know what? Forget that. Finale shuts me up. 1 press of the Q button. 3K on the Blossom. I mean, we're looking at sound barriers and EMPs the entire game. That's the first time we've seen real impact from just a Death Blossom.
Yeah, Inferno committed the bomb there during the Death Blossom, so they won't have that free remake. They won't have that point control. You know, they can use the Diva Bomb as a zoning ult. We saw it kind of work, I think, on Volskaya, so they won't have any of that. They still have Kage's ult, and they will have support ult. So they do have something to work with, but this is going to be last fight.
They haven't really managed to actually get the presence that they want. They've done the same approach every time. And then we see Moopy jump up usually, trying to just
duel out the opposing Winston, but this Cola has such an advantage. EMP only caught 2 here. Only 2. Counter sound barrier from Liars. Perfectly timed though to keep them up through the EMP of their own. Now they have to trade out. Doobie uses his second though. It's going to give him a massive advantage. Even without Muse being over and in the fight, Moopy has to come up big with his Primal Rage.
I don't think they even need it. I think that's just the clean sweep there. And yep, Moopy gonna save that for another day. And 30 seconds less on the clock than 200 MS had. But, you know, Delta Phoenix did what they needed to do most, and that was stay alive on this map and this series. Now, Finale gonna be very close to another Death Blossom. We saw how well that worked last time, and I think you made a really great point. That was really the first Death Blossom on its own that did really well. So I'm not exactly sure what happened with Infernal and, you know, their E. I'm not sure if they ran out or maybe the mech was destroyed too soon and that's why they bombed, but you got to be on top of those things. You got to use your D.Va E to eat that all up so they don't get value.
Yeah, there's only so much defense matrix to go around, and Finale's got another Death Blossom. He's holding it close to his chest, though, waiting for just the right moment to pop it. It's going to in the middle of the team, gets 1. Not much more this time, just D-Mech now. There's a clear win so far for 200 MS. Squid has a very, very good coalescence, though. Everyone's in this tiny little room, but Finale is just dishing out obscene amounts of damage on this Reaper.
You know, I just noticed that Felins got the hack onto the D.Va when they were using the Death Blossom that time, so I'm wondering if that's what happened the first time. And if so, I mean, you can't do anything if you're Infernal. It's just, you're just there to be an alt battery at that point. But you gotta try to avoid Felins, and that synergy from 200 MS doing really well for them so far. But there's the EMP on everyone.
It caught Dobie, it caught Felins, no chance of a counter EMP. As long as Delta Phoenix capitalize, they'll be all right. And an EMP-assisted Death Blossom will finish things off, but 200 MS are going to be coming back with a vengeance.
Yeah, and I think they might have time to touch this second point. Not sure if they want to, though. You know, you gotta consider, like, if we take this and it doesn't go well, we just give up so much free space. You can just kind of hide at the back of where third point begins, kind of, I want to call it a little hill on the street, you know, kind of.
They're going for it. Primal Rage has it. They have the EMP. This fight is so good for them as long as they catch Liar. Where is the Lucio? He's not caught by it. He's in. First time. No, he's juggled away. Oh, by Muse, he keeps him entirely out of the fight. It's the same exact play that Delta Phoenix pulled over on Volskaya, used against them. Now off the cart, Liar's down. Dobie's got a sound barrier to make the fight go even longer. 21 seconds on the clock. We're looking at final fight right now. Felins takes out the main tank. 15 seconds left and a coalescence to seal things, not to mention another Death Blossom from Finale to send 200 MS on to probably a 3-1 up. They get in with the sound barrier, but what's it even matter when Finale's in your face, dishing out damage for free? This Moira, not long for life, but Boat is. He's got himself a 1. Looking for a second, though, with the help of Liar and Squid. The support's in a tanker here, so they've got a good bit of sustain to make this one count, but nothing in terms of ultimates. They have to avoid the team, or the mech, pardon me, and get back in, but they have to make those kills count. All they've got is primary fire and a lot of heart.
Yeah, Moopy going in too deep, but there is the Death Blossom. It finds Dobie. It finds 3.
There it is!
It's crazy. They're going to get this point. They pressured it out. In Delta Phoenix, they are not going down without a fight. I thought that was going to go the way of 200 MS, but, you know, I should have learned from Volskaya. Expect the unexpected. This is not over yet, and now with a minute 16 counting down, can they get the full cap on Nambani? But Dobie gonna take out Kage early on.
It has been 2 hours since we've seen this Doomfist, and they're gonna swap immediately outfit. Felins has an EMP, but they only have so much time. If he can hold this for making this fight last, it's pretty good, but they're gonna win without it anyways, which is even better. They're gonna have it for final fight. 50 seconds left. What can Delta Phoenix even do here?
They need Boat to grind their own EMP, and now at 50%, still ways to go. Liar doesn't have that beat yet, just yet, so if the ult tracking is good for 200 MS, they'll know that, they'll take advantage of it, they'll just go in with a very aggressive EMP. There's only 30 seconds left, so realistically, one fight. This spawn is very far for attackers.
It is, but the EMP is pretty big for the defenders. Squid, Infernal, and Kage all caught in it. Only 3 members, though. Violetta going down, traded out for another mech. 20 seconds. Do not drop the ball on this C9 right now. The Primal Rage will keep him away, but with Muse out of the fight, it's a lot of space made for Delta Phoenix, who are going to move forward, keep this cart rolling. They survive the EMP. They've got to get one more fight out.
Yeah, and that was just a big misplay, I think. The EMP did hit, but there was not enough follow-up. And now, Delta Phoenix, they are going to be in overtime, so no time left on the clock. They stepped off of this cart, and it is going to be game over. Dobie has the beat, Violetta has the bomb, Vigilante still does, but there is an EMP.
Immediately an EMP moving forward, making sure that they don't pop overtime too quickly right now. Finale's the man they got to take out. Felins has another EMP of their own, though. The Finale knows that's go time. Bomb over top. Nobody can get out of the way. It catches two for a 200 MS to try and seal out the night. Overtime here. And Liar, your time has come, my friend. It's into the finale to end things for 200 MS. 3-1 they take away tonight's second match.
And the script writer, the same thing that we've seen. They needed that 3-1. They needed that one map win to go the way of Delta Phoenix. But in the end, 200 MS gonna take the series. And wow. I mean, those last two maps, incredibly close. Volskaya and Numbani, flip of a hat, goes either way. Just in the end, it's that one little misplay or one all that too quickly. But we are going to take a quick break and be back very soon with an interview.
Promise you guys a quick little break, and we're back with their assistant coach. It is time to get our little interview going. Now, that was, I can't imagine that was any less stressful for you than it was for us. So from the spectator stands, what's going through your mind that entire match? Can you take me through map 1, 2, 3, and 4? How are you feeling about things?
First map we were pretty confident because we win pretty convincingly. But then they honestly they were playing a very aggressive pace. Mupi was playing very very aggressive, and we struggled to adapt our games game style. But then after we took a break after Volskaya, and then it was better. But Volskaya was horrible to watch.
No doubt.
Yeah, Volskaya was so close. And, from a casting perspective, I thought for sure that would end up being either a draw or a win for Delta Phoenix. That last defense they had on point 1. Can you kind of talk us through exactly what happened there, how you guys were able to pull out and take that map?
Honestly, we're pretty I don't know, we're not really confident on Volskaya. I guess that.
You're good. Keep on going. It's just internet stuff. Don't worry, ladies.
A bit in Volskaya.
Still here.
Okay.
I mean, the Volskaya was stressful after all of those rounds, though. After all of that Overwatch, what kind of condition are your players in? They have to be exhausted.
They are for most of them, yeah. But we're very happy about the win because we also know that we still have a chance to go contenders, and it's our goal. So we're working very very hard for it. But we're gonna take some good rest, and tomorrow we go again.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this a little bit earlier after the Uprising Academy match. They know that they're going to be facing you tomorrow, and now you're right. This is basically for a spot in contenders proper. So, what do you think your odds are against Uprising Academy?
Honestly, I don't know. I know they're a much better team than they used to be before. But I also know that our players are very, very thirsty for victory. And the only thing I can promise is that me and the staff and the players are going to work like very, very hard. We are going to give it all to make the fans proud, and yeah, go Contenders.
Well, before tomorrow, I'll give you the platform right now to send a message over to the Boston Uprising Academy. Anything to say to them right now?
Honestly, nothing special. I just know that it's going to be a very close match. But I'm pretty confident to take the win, I hope.
I love the respect, but also the confidence in your players.
Yeah. Thank you so much for popping in for the interview. Seriously, go get yourselves some rest. Lord knows what kind of times you guys are working on right now. It can't be the prettiest thing, but tomorrow is another day, and good luck with it. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks. I love my team.
Very true. Honestly, after all that, I feel like I love your team as well. Have a good night, man.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, ladies and gents, as for us, that's all we have. Delta Phoenix, dude, I can't help but feel like that's how every single one of their matches went, being 3-1. And I feel really bad for them after all that. Like, if every match was like that, those poor guys, it's no wonder, right? Like, you can have such a stacked roster. All those matches were close. And it shows Group A is insanely, contended, right? There's 4 people tied for the top, and literally every single one of those teams stood a chance at actually winning that. And so,
yeah,
huge respect to everybody. Wishing everybody luck tomorrow. As for tonight, though, huge thank you to everybody here at the production, staying up real late. Huge thanks to you guys for watching. And you know what? Thank you very much, Jag. Your first time on Contenders Trials. You did a fantastic job. Anything to say before we let him go?
Yeah, I mean, great matches tonight. All 4 teams really played amazingly. It was an honor. Thank you, Elo Hell, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Dor, for being such a great partner for me tonight. I really had a lot of fun. I'm sure that everyone watching had a lot of fun. Producers are probably a bit tired, but what a great way to close out day 4 of Contenders Trials. I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow in that 200 MS versus Uprising Academy game. It should be a great one, so be sure to tune in tomorrow for that.
Yep, same time, same place, ladies and gents. We'll see you then. Have a great night.
Academy, they lay down the shatter, let the bodies hit the floor. Uprising Academy at 95%.
Right now with Hydra building up to this Bear Barrage so quickly.
Oh!
And asking!
Double kill in the back with the pulse bomb from the high ground. Aerial assault with that mine.
Impact se escucha debajo gritar campeón a Sky Foxes.
Holy cow.
And after 42 consecutive losses, the Shanghai Dragons get their first win.
8 teams enter this weekend.
Oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing?
We got a clip with minimal information. It's time to break it down. Speed, 25%. Go. Figure out what this man's SR is.
Keep fighting till it's for sure lost. Winnable!